What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? Sorry, I didn't even look. I should open the window. Get some light in here. How's that? A little less orange. Swap this battery real quick. There we go. That's the vibe. I don't think I'm gonna bother with the chat. Dude, I think the only way to get YouTube chat on the screen is if I use Streamlabs OBS. That's kind of scuffed. Streamlabs OBS kind of scuffed. Alright, let me get this screen over here. Wait, that ain't right. One second. I got my windows right. There we go. And this. Yeah. Sorry, I can't even find the stream right now. There's just so many windows open. It's kind of impromptu stream. Alright, let me catch up with all the chats so make sure no one's missed. Yeah, I'm live. What's up, Ozzy? What's up, Matonical? Oh, that's too hot. I just made that. What's up, Henry? What's up, Cameron? Luann? Why did they like block Hugh? Terminal. That's weird. Good old 5:19 start time. Sorry. I just decided to do a stream because I have to like loop these switches. So I might as well just go live. So we're gonna work on the mode linear switches today. I'm gonna build an ID80 tomorrow, I think, and I want to do that so I can get a good comparison between that and the GMMK Pro. I have already scripted out the review video, so that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna cause a lot of people to be angry. How would you react if someone spray lubing a keycult? You wouldn't need to spray lube a keycult because you should already be lubed when you get it. And if you spray lube something when you're building it, that's just silly. Thanks, Shoobs. Yeah, we hit 12k yesterday. Big moves. Just trying to catch up to you, big boss man. Building MGA standard while listening to the stream, guys. I was watching Harris Heller's stream today because he moved to YouTube. It's like his debut stream. And I get what you guys mean when you say like, oh, I'm just gonna watch a streamer while I do my thing. I'm like, I was looping switches like, hey, I feel this. It feels kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Retooling is a remold. Yeah, retooling is when they change the machines because the machines wear down. So retooling is when they fix and update their molds for the switches. Sometimes it changes it. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Get our inks what ended up worse. 5 a.m. Paulo. That's crazy. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, we're sprinkling in the YouTube streams to make sure everyone feels included. I think that's a good idea. What cases are there for entry? What's the budget for entry? Because there's entry in customs and there's entry in mechanical keyboards, I think. So pre-builds are kind of treated separately. You watch me while doing work? I have watched streams where people were working and I work alongside them, and it's kind of interesting. Before I feel you, this is actually a commission lubing job. Like ink V2s are very I mean, if you want the deep sound, go for the lavenders, I think. Are gap blackings worse now? They are worse than V1s, unfortunately. But you can buy more and kind of cherry pick them. Might be okay. I copped a Jelly Epoch SE during their China GB. Oh, they did China GB for this one too? Nice, Ralph. Dockiest build I've ever done. That would be the PC Think 6.5 with alpacas on my channel. And I feel like if I had the inks in there, it would have been even dockier. So you gotta go back a little bit. It's one of my first builds. 360 right now. I feel like if you want a deeper sound, don't get this. This is the Unicorn. The Polaris is actually deeper. I have a Palm half blade here, and I'll be honest, I might change it. I thought this would be everything for me. I thought this would be everything for me, but it doesn't feel amazing. Like a PCB with no flex cuts and a half plate and a gummy O-ring. The kind of elements like, oh, this does look like cheese. The kind of elements there, it doesn't feel like doesn't feel the best. I feel like I want the pour on gasket strips more. Compared to restock, nice. We were all rushing for that last time. $70 entry. $70. Is that the entire keyboard or just the case? I'm still hoarding the black ink V1s. I'm just reusing them, man. Yes, film the mobs. You gotta film the mobs. So my technique to lube is I always want this separate. So I don't want to buy a specific tool like a makeup palette to be able to kind of lube off my hand. So I just put it on things. Sometimes I tape the loop station. This is the Bear Cables loop station, by the way. Bakaneko is a unicorn killer. I think I heard about that, but I don't know if if you ever say a board is gonna kill another board before it's even out, it probably won't. Deskies or TX films? I like TX more. TX is easier to install. I don't like the installation of Deskies. My loop station fancy, yeah. Thank you. It's over the top, but it's wood top with acrylic mid and wood back, so it's pretty cool to look at. I only use 205G0, but 3204 is what I recommend for tactiles. Got a unicorn coming in. Congrats, Judy. Banana splits on the unicorn and the FR4 plate would be money. I have an FR4 plate. I should use it. The V1s are not inconsistent, but like the loose leaf is kind of a big deal if you mess it up. And by messing it up, I mean if you over solder, you'll fuse the pin in a bad spot. So be careful with that. What I use my Vega is my hot swap board right now. So right now it has the SV stars. We took off the keycaps for yesterday's build. EV01 build 1. Okay. So which color is the EV01? Is it the red and yellow or the purple and green? I'll put that on my list to loop next. SV Star Meteor White on the KBD67 R2 will be a pretty cool balance of flockiness and clockiness, I think. Sorry, your names are different on YouTube. Is Palmar Flex and FR4? Yes. Purple and green? Alright, we'll hit the purple and green. Next. Maybe I should throw that to the unicorn. Some traditional... Wait, before I put stems into this, I actually need to grab films. Hopefully I'll have enough. Got a bag of TX films here. Opinions on Hyperglide MX Blacks. I feel like they're not that different from retooled. Someone told me the other day that anything made after like a certain time is all Hyperglide. $70 for a case and plate, I think. Oh, okay. $70. It's hard because I think the cheapest thing would be the KBD67 line that pushes you up to 109. Do not get the NK65EE. I'm trying to think of a cheaper hot swap. Chat, can you help with anything under $100 for a beginner like hot swap board? Lick the unicorn. What's up, Foz? Hey, Foz, you never gave me a video of your 30 military push-ups. I'm waiting, bro. Waiting. Opinions on T-Leos. I don't like T-Leos. They're too expensive. GK61? Oh, right. GK61, but that only takes 3-pin switches, right? I sold my Polaris Lincoln. Streamlabs working now? For real? Streamlabs stopped working on Twitch and now it's working on YouTube? What kind of troll is this, Streamlabs? Alright, let's update the Streamlabs, I guess. That's tilting, bro. That's legit tilting. Ah, golly. It's 11:27 tomorrow. Yo, fitness all day. Fitness all day. All right, let me see. Andy is lubing some. What switch is this? I forgot. I want to mess up the name, so let's pull up the mode website. Mode 80. My preferred switch runs with TX. What keyboard is the top is a unicorn. Yeah, the stems do look like popcorn. I don't like to. I'd rather get alpacas than Telios. They're like Telios are way too high pitched. Nice idiot. Yeah, I got the idea from somebody, and usually I use the super key. But what had happened was I lost my super key for about a week. Is the unicorn way better than the players? I don't think so. It's just clackier and has more flex. Like it's like more collectible worthy, and that's why I keep it because it's more collectible. I got the Cobalt Palm Linears. I haven't used it. Min EK68 Aurora comparable to Tiffany color. I feel like it's a very similar color. I feel like if you like one, you're gonna like the other two. It's not gonna be that different. Bro, chat is zooming. I'm not gonna be able to work on anything, bro. That's all good. It's good that I can answer questions. Don't go for got inks. What do you think about the KVD D60 1 kilos? How much is that D60? I can actually pull it up. Take a look at it since I'm not busy anything, doing anything. Silicone pore versus poron. I feel like I like the silicone more because it's deeper, but poron's easier. The thing with the Sober thing though, it's sticky when you cut it, so I don't like it. I feel like silicone's cheaper too. It's just more involved. My current favorite keyboard. What's up, Jeff? I just read your name after. Yeah, right now I like flexing with the Tfue keycaps on the white unicorn with the brass weight, cause it's fun. We're looking at $319 for the D60. That's a little painful. It's a unicorn. I did the Holy Stab mod. I have on my second channel. I did the 4 hours of testing with stabs, and the Holy mod came out on top in terms of like balance. GMK Tfue, dude, it's the way. It's the way. What makes the switch clacky? Any examples of a clacky tactile switch on the top of your head? For me, like the sound of a tactile is defined by clack, but you can make it deeper. Most of the time when you hear a tactile like bump, it's kind of sound more clacky, in my opinion. My dailies are red on top, man. Shit. Dude, I'm gonna have a hard time reading the chat. I'm using the unicorn right now. This is a unicorn. GMK Redactor go on the unicorn. Man, did someone get it for me? I wasn't trying to get GBs back then, and so I may have missed out. My favorite full play option for Get Milk Top. Full play option. Get Milk Top. I personally liked it in FR4 plate, but Lumen can do well too. Have I tried direct koalas? The leaf chatter is so annoying, even lubed. Try lubing behind the leaf to see if that makes it a little bit better for tactiles. Buy all apart and build one. Buy. One says, what is worth it? Buy GK61 and mod all of it, or buy all apart and build one. What's the difference? Are we still talking about GK61 both scenarios? TX Films my favorite Switch films. Thoughts on the GMK Pro? I'm working on a review video, but the short answer is I feel like their V2 is going to be a banger, but their V1 overshot. Alright, for the people here, I can give you a little teaser. I'm not going to show you the script, but I'm going to read some of it. I already wrote the script for it. So it's docs.google. I'm gonna give you my like pro con, right? So let's hold the questions for about like 2 minutes because I'm not gonna be able to read it. All right. So my main thing about the GMK Pro, this is how I wrote the review. I'm gonna talk about like how a board is worth more. It's more about the board itself than the specifications, because you can put things on paper. We know this about any kind of tech. We look at like the specs of CPUs, we look at the specs of cameras, and there's always some kind of like catch. So especially because I came from cameras, in cameras, you'll get a camera that has like all these 6 specs, right? And like, oh, 8K, 120 FPS, 10-bit RAW, all this. And then in reality, when you put that all into one package, what's not on the spec sheet is the fact that it'll overheat and they'll stop working. So things like that, like it's not just the specs. So you gotta think about like, okay, so how do the specs affect it? So my big thing is that board is solid. I think it's solid because under $200 because there's no other option. But my big like concerns about the board was the gas mount doesn't really work because it's stiff. The RGB side, the side RGB doesn't really show anything because it's light. The aluminum's good, solid aluminum. Didn't feel hollow in my unit, so I'm surprised. Pretty good. overheating is a feature. Yeah, it just makes you like film faster. The knob feels super janky because it's silicone mold inside instead of having a screw. They could have just bought a $1 knob for real, but they chose to go with the silicone mold one. It's weird. It doesn't feel quality to me because it just wiggles, bro. It just wiggles. The stabilizers, they probably just should have named it something different. They should have just called it Glorious Stabilizers and they would have been fine. But they had to go ahead and call it the greatest of all time. I get it, it's your branding, but your branding is very, very specific. The build quality overall, dude, the screw broke in the case. That's unfortunate and that's bad, but at the end of the day, this is the under $200 keyboard that has a return policy. So if something breaks like that, just contact them and they'll take care of you. And that's something we don't have in customs. And that's basically gonna be the gist of my video. Like, there's no other options. The board we're gonna be working on, the switches in this loop station right now are going into an ID80. And we're gonna try to mod that to the gills. We're gonna learn from Hippio Tech because he is the ID80 extraordinaire. And we're gonna see if we can make it sound as good as or better than the GMK Pro, because it's the only other alternative right now. If you look at any other 75%, the first line of like price for affordable or more affordable custom 75s is a obliterated 75, and that's $295. $295 is way more than $170. So at 170s, it's a deal. Last time I drop all bare bones, the 3-pin sucks. I hate the fact that it's not 5-pin because you got to clip your switches. My favorite switches got our ink. What is gasket mount for? It affects the feel of the board, but in the GMK Pro, the gasket mount is overshadowed by the fact that the plate and the PCB are like screwed together in so many places. What happens if you spill lemonade on a $3,000 keyboard? You lose $3,000. Just kidding. You're only going to lose the PCB, which is $60. You just have to rebuild it. So the PCB itself is like $50 to $70 depending. The board itself, for being $3,000, is not just the PCB. It's mostly like getting a case. How do I stop the holy mod bandit from peeling off? Get more runway along the top part where you like stick it in. But they've been coming off for mine too, to be honest. Have I checked the Taylor stab mod? I looked at it and I'm like, nah. Like there's a certain amount of work I'm willing to do, and the Taylor mod and the Epstein mod are too much. The 84 gasket is 75 or 200. I wonder if it's a good competitor for the GMK Pro. Let me look at that. Let's take a look at that. Etc. So D84. Is brush lubing springs worth it over bag lubing? So what I did was with this bag, I put in oil and 2,5G0 and then I mix it up. That way I get the benefits of bag lubing and brush lubing. So that's pretty cool. That's what I've been doing as of late. Okay, so let's look at this gasket 75. What kind of mounting is this? Oh, it's gasket. Oh. Sounds like it would be a little bit better than the GMK Pro. Is that the USB port? Hippio shields the ID80 integrated plate really hard. He says the integrated plate is good and he hasn't tried a single board with the soft plate. Yeah, he'll try it soon enough. We had the same feeling about Bad Seed Tech because he hadn't tried full customs before, and he was talking about the drop boards before. So for that, at least they're just talking about what they know, you know? I haven't heard great things about ID80, but I got commissioned to build one, so we're gonna try and find out. How exactly do you do the weight mod in the KVD69 Lite? You buy the weights and you just drop it in. Since the weights are on the bottom, you don't really have to adhere to anything, but there is adhesive on it. Take a look at this. And this looks fine, but this layout kind of sucks. My main concern about the 75% layout is that it's kind of compressed. You won't have a separation between your control key and your left arrow. Personally, do you find Duroc palms smoother than inks? I feel like inks are smoother, but they're inconsistent. So inconsistency is the killer. I'd rather have consistent lack of smoothness or consistent smoothness and poorer sound. But like to have it kind of vary from switch to switch, that's what's gonna pop out. Plus GMK Pro, you can get a poly fit. I feel like with all the gasket, the plate difference doesn't really make a difference. What plate options are here? Just silver aluminum. Okay. Scholarship says, on a scale of 1 to Z, what's your favorite colorway of the Cherry MX Suite? Speed silvers. Because I think of that superhero that runs fast. But aerial clears, unironically, are kind of lit. I like aerial clears over MX rounds. But if we're just picking colors, dude, they're all kind of different kinds of bad. So we just run with the, we just run with whatever prettiest color. I was gonna say purple, but they'll make a purple. Is it the Flash? I was watching what's that horrible show on Netflix with the Scarlet Witch, and it was like super slow. It was not Netflix. It was HBO. Is the GMK Pro V2 the ISO version TSI coming later this year? If they're doing a V2 with ISO, I really hope they like make some changes. I swear, if they only just add ISO, that would be such a letdown. WandaVision. Disney Plus, there we go. Yeah, WandaVision pissed me off because I was watching it week by week. I feel like that's a great show to binge, but to have the cliffhangers at the end of the show, man. What's the best retailer to get Garon Ink Black V1 from? It's hard because they all order from the same place and they order at different times. I had the best experience with 1UP, but that was because 1UP was selling them before everyone else was selling them, or they had a batch that they were holding on to because they closed down from the lockdown earlier, so they had the good vintage ones. Not because they are special, but only because they had to shut down their store, so they had old dead stock. That was just like a stroke of luck. Did you have experience any problems with OA styles breaking caps or being too loose? Nah, I haven't experienced that, Tiger. I only put EBBT keycaps on there. The first episodes were so slow. The KBD 8X Mark II is a banger value. Wait, Foss, what film have you ever watched with so much interest? Alias silent switches? I only heard about those when people frank switch. I've never used them. I'm not a huge fan of silent switches. Tenet? Oh, Tenet is amazing. But aren't there a few plot holes in Tenet? Hyperglide MX Blacks? I use them. They're okay. I would put them in a TKL to kind of mask the scratch. If you have a heavier aluminum case, the scratch gets masked. But if you use like a flexible plate small case, like I did in the Prophet, that sound test, bro, that grated my ears. Do I think the FL is worth it for the price? I don't think so. I would rather happily use an Icky 68 or a KBD 67 Lite for cheaper than to get a FL. Now, are there plot holes? That movie was hard to follow because my brain is smooth, boss. So I was looking at like recap videos to try to catch up. Stock alpaca V2s are okay for someone who's lazy. If you're not gonna lube, try to get the NK silks. Yamatanoko, you like the brainfuck movies? Just like you like just getting confused. I can't keep up with those. Heavy TK with a palm plate. That would be the Lin Whale that I used with the palm half, and that was pretty nice. But it's not gonna hide scratch, I don't think. I like TKL's aluminum plates. I've heard of Zycos, and I use them, and they are indeed deeper than Holy Pandas and Holy Bubbles that I've used. But bro, it's so expensive. I'd rather just go for a U4T. The best sounding tactile, I mean that varies. I personally like pewters because that light pop, because I actually don't like the feel of Holy Pandas and stuff like that. But if you want a clacky, loud as hell tactile, yo, Moyu Blacks or Dark J's are kind of the move. Will it ever be possible to get Gat Inks V1 directly from a vendor again? Unfortunately not. It's weird though, we got an announcement recently that where people said, a vendor said that, wait, what is showing on my screen right now? Oh, so a vendor said that they still have the V1 mold for JWK, and when the vendor makes a big order from the manufacturer, that they'll mix them. And I was like, no! Because V2 JWK, for some reason, is not playing well with the NK or Novelty cream stems. So if you have a batch of mixed V1 and V2, more or less the switch is going to feel consistent if you use it as it is and lube it. But if you franken switch, oh no, oh no, it's not gonna be good. That was one vendor though saying that they're saying like V1 V2 doesn't matter. I was like, those strong words, fam. Alpaca's black inks are H1s. I would go with Black Inks first, H1 second, Alpaca's third, because I like the deeper sound. Would I recommend the Holy Mod if my Space Horse Stabler is... So, the Holy Mod still has some rattle in it, so I would recommend figuring out how to balance wires first, then do the Holy Mod, and then you're gonna have the best experience. Snow White switches are pretty gangsta, dude. I like them. But I feel like they're not very different from JWK's. I'm a fan, like, I tolerate lubed and filmed to JWK. Do you think the Compri 2s are worth the price increase over Alpacas? I don't think so if it costs a lot more, but they're cooler because they have the longer stem. So the sound's a little different and they are smoother. I feel like they were like glass-like smooth over Alpacas. So if you want that like buttery smooth, can't hear a damn thing, Compri 2s, man. I'd about ID67 versus Fuji 65. I haven't had either in hand, so I can't really say anything. Is SHT BDZ good or is it better to use 205G0? I feel like if you lube the wire with 205G0 and then plug the butt a little bit with a syringe, you can get a very similar effect if you're holy modding. The thing is, I think when the wire is imbalanced, that's when the lube moves around more. So if you holy mod or something like that, you limit the movement that the wire can make. So in that case, you don't need the SHT BDZ. But if you're gonna not do that and you're just gonna loop, I feel like if you have the money and you plan on building a lot of boards, get the BDZ. Otherwise, nah, just use 205G0. I have not used a Nixie yet. Yeah, there's so many questions. I'm trying to be helpful and I can't. I'm definitely not gonna be able to finish this. I haven't lubed anything. It's hard enough just to put films in here. My favorite board right now, it's my unicorn because it's shiny. Is it the best sounding and feeling board? Nah. Like the front height's too tall, it's clackier than I prefer. Yeah, but it's shiny. Fave rubber domes are not dome. I don't know anything about rubber domes, sorry. That's not my wheelhouse. McMerlin, sorry, what are your food questions? Ask me one more time. I'm gonna stare at the screen, McMerlin. I'm staring, I'm waiting. Merlin? Merlin? Repeat it. Merlin? Merlin? What's my address? You can send me stuff if you go to my Twitch page, but that's not my home address. Film 3 switches and 1 question. I would never be able to, dude. What's my favorite food? What's my favorite bubble tea? Okay, I like spring rolls, not because they're phallic, but mostly because they're phallic. I love spring rolls with the sauce on the tip and put it in my mouth. My favorite bubble tea, it gotta be the matcha, dude. Some kind of matcha. Closest to the endgame board for me, this unicorn allowed me to stop buying new boards. And that's the goal, you know? You just don't want to want new boards. Like, I would be nice. I'm not gonna go out of my way to get new boards. Home address reveal at 15K? If you send me 15K, because I can take that 15K, then I can move after I give you my address. $15K dollars, by the way. Not pesos. Not dong. Alright. Next board I'm looking forward to. Let's see. I will be getting a piggy in to build, and that's gonna be lit because I've never tried that big ass bezel board before. I'll do my light died. My batteries are bunk. It's gonna be dark and moody on my other side. Moyu blacks or holy panda? If you want the clack, Moyu black. You want the holy, or you want a little bit deeper, holy panda. I built my first keyboard with this website. What website? Wait, what website? 15,000 cents. Favorite stabilizers? I use Durac V1. But I've been hearing from people that the Durac V2 wires are better, and I've been hearing that people are having less issues with taking the C3. So I want to try C3. I have one set of C3 here, but they're all about the same. Favorite sounding board? I feel like that UTD on my channel still takes number 1. How much lube do you need for a TKL keyboard? 2 grams. Yeah, the piggy is the 60% version of the elephant. But yeah, it's freaking huge. Gateron Browns U4Ts would definitely be a big change. It would be a very big change. If you don't want to make that big jump, try out pewters or navies. Did you have an opinion on the Jelly Epoch change after using for a while? Nah, dude. So the summary for that board is, let's take a second. Sorry, hold off the questions for a second. Jelly Epoch. It's a very eccentric looking board, so it's not everyone's cup of tea. but that weight is really thick and heavy, and I like it thick and heavy, bro. The mounting, I was surprised that the multi flex cuts was a little concerning considering I had a bad experience with the Prophet. Hey, it actually did not really sound muted, right? What ended up happening was that board is so like deep and creamy that it makes mode not sound creamy. That mode and the Polaris and the Vega being heavily gasketed felt like the cream of the crop. But the Jelly Epoch took it to another damn level. Of course, we took off that badge in the last build, so it looked a little bit cleaner. Because I'm a little concerned because we're like, why that badge there? It looks so ugly. It doesn't look too distracting. That hole where the badge was is kind of small, so it's all good. I definitely recommend that board. I should put an updated sound test tomorrow, and I'll do the update like review, like this kind of review on tomorrow's stream with the board out. And we'll put that on the YouTube so y'all can have less of a chance again on Saturday. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Most overrated keyboard? Keycoat. Especially not at the what was it, 5K for the for the victory. Inks, man. Macmillan says, "You jelly of my jelly." I'm jelly of your Jane, bro. Synergy says, "Can you blow me a kiss?" I don't know how I'm gonna see it, but you can. What do I think about the Key 65? The Key 65 is a banger, Alessandro. I definitely think the Key 65 is a good kind of middle ground, or a good kind of like stopping point for end game, so you don't need a key code. I have talked to people that have owned key codes. They sold it, they pocket a little bit of money, and they got a Key 65. I'm getting a Piggy Proto, but I'm not gonna be able to keep it. I'm just gonna build it and I'm gonna send it back. But yeah, we're gonna get the Piggy. Oink oink. Gummy O-ring mount is pretty clacky. That's what I'm learning from the unicorn right here. It's pretty clacky. So if you don't like clack, don't go with the gummy O-ring. Holy Mod is pretty reliable from what I can tell, but it doesn't fully remove rattle. So balancing wires is still important. What are some alternative switches of the Dogecoin switches? Dogecoin says JWK. You can get any JWK. You can get L7, you can get Alpaca, Mauve. You can get H1, you can get Sohos. You can get EV01, EV02. I feel like this Gateron, this mode reflex, it's gonna be very similar too. It's not gonna be too far off. Favorite weight of spring, 65 grams, 60 mil. Clack or Thok? I like Thok more. Hopefully y'all appreciate that I'm trying to answer all these questions. I know like a lot of the time we don't have a place to ask questions. You can really ask anything as long as it's not illegal. Check out the KBD 67 Lite with the Got Yellows, EBT, keycaps, and KBD. Yeah, that's gonna be a banger. Banger. How are the OA stats compared to Duoc V2? It's about the same. Same kind of like pop resistance. I've not heard of the Sun 68. We recently ordered an ID80 V2. Is it okay to use BDZ and Holy Mod together? Yeah, I just did that with what's that board I just built on Twitch? The Space 65 Cyber Voyager. We did Holy Mod the BDZ. You just gotta go really light in the BDZ. Can I go plateless? Can go in plateless damage a keyboard's PCB over time? Nah. Thoughts on Bear 65? Bear 65 is gonna be lit, Foss. You trying to get reaffirmation? Trying to make me jealous I didn't enter that? Which lube tastes better? Toxic Chibosis. You shouldn't be eating lube. But they don't look tasty at all. Nice, Ada. I'm glad you're learning. Favorite plate mount stabs? Gateron? Or for the novel keys ones? It's not the best, but it'll do the job. 25G0 overused? I don't think so. But some people do prefer a more clocky sound, in which case they'll use oil. Should I get a loop station if I plan on building two keyboards? Pop on? No, you should. The alternative for a loop station is you can get drop rails. You know, those long rails that they ship their drop key or switches in. Those are really small loop stations. It's really nice. 365 or wait for Key 65? I haven't really looked at this Lee 65, so I'm sorry. Is Fairy TKL really that good? I'm not sure. It's hard to make a TKL sound bad though. But the E8.5 was kind of an interesting letdown last year. What's your opinion on the whole Thok debate? Do you think Clack is high pitched? Clack is high pitched, Thok is low. Why is there a debate? Thok, just the word clack, clack, clack. The aw sounds deeper and ah sounds louder. Or it sounds a higher pitch. Like, why is that a question? I'm so confused. GMK screwing styles okay for first build? They're gonna be okay for first build. Favorite GMK set would be GMK muted. Should I wait the KBD67 Lite? It's definitely not needed, but if you want, it's only like 10 bucks. You can always return it if you don't like it. Is my monitor not okay? My desk mat, I'm not sure. My camera might not be straight. Let's see. Let me just do this. Yeah, it's my monitor. It's my monitor. Okay. My desk mat is a little bit not straight too. Oh fuck. Now I'm staring at it, bro. You missed everything, Eddie. JMap seen redeem Andy Ring for 20 seconds. So if you go to my Twitch stream, I talk like this. You know, remember the guy that talked about the moth and how he was wrong? This is called a wing mode. So if you want to see some of it, you come to the Twitch stream. You know, twitch.tv ndwing, and that's what we call the wing mode, man. The wing mode is gonna be your uncle, your father, your other uncle, maybe your cousin. You talk like it. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of racist, but not because I'm Vietnamese, so it's okay. Where's my GMK muted at? It's in a tray because I don't have light boards, ironically. I'm not getting a salvation. I'm out of money, dude. NKE or KBD67 Lite, if you watch the review video, NK65EE, unfortunately, they were the pioneer into the affordable board realm. And since they were the first, they were stuck with the plate mount stabs, and everyone else like was able to figure out how to not do plate mount stabs. So I don't recommend the 65EE because of plate mount stabs. How the polycarb plate affects sound? It's usually clockier, I think. SPIC 65, I think 6.5. Just difference in aesthetics, dude. The Space 65 is a top mount though, so if you want a gas key mount, I think 6.5 V2 is the way. The factory loop on alpacas is gonna make it smooth, but if you want the deeper sound, you want to film and loop. So that's the difference. It makes it deeper if you loop them. So the new NK65 PCBs will have the PCB mod support. So that's a good thing to share, Macmillan. Thank you for sharing that. But the problem also with the NK65EE is that plate. When you put a switch in there, it does this. It grips it. You can't pull it out. And you're gonna keep using your keycap puller, and you're gonna destroy the top housing. So unless they do that, unless they fix it, so it's good that they added PCB mount support for stabilizers, but they also need to fix the plate. Like they need to loosen those tolerances up. Because I'm tired of destroying switches and that thing. Do I like those novelty creams? No, I ended up using them for a year. Even after broken in the smooth, I didn't love it. So I took out the stems and put it into, I made a black cherry pie out of them, and I didn't love that either. So I think I have a hate, in terms of a love-hate relationship, it's leaning towards, I can appreciate it, but I don't like it. How fluent am I in Viet? I can only speak. Rama U80 is hotspot, isn't it? You can try whatever you want, man. How often do you get a fade? It should be every 3 weeks, but I'm poor, so every 4. My boy cuts for like 50 bucks, so I support him, and it was easier to support him when I had a job. Right now it's gonna be a little hard. Yeah, shipping adds a little bit to a Bernese. There's only the dual mode left. It's gonna be fine, dude. Better than trying to buy a secondhand. I'm fluent in Vietlish. I know how to. Tôi biết nói tiếng Việt mà không có biết mấy chữ giống như keyboard tiếng Việt không biết. Thì tao là and then I get stuck. I was like, then I get stuck. That's it. Because I only know how to order pho and say hello. Windows, what are you ranking by? Okay, that's another conversation. Alpacas or tangerines? I like alpacas more. Dude, I was born here. What do you expect? Huh? What keyboard is the hottest right now? Dude, everything's hot. Everyone's trying to buy everything. What do I think about the playlist build for KD67 Lite? Bruh, can people stop calling a KD67 Lite playlist when you put in foam? If you put foam underneath the switch, it's a foam plate. It's not plateless. So it's not foam, it's actually silicone. But still, it's not plateless. Can we stop this, please? Do you know if any switches that avoid interference with GMK R3 besides Holy Pandas? answer with Vietnamese accent. I don't know, Steve. I don't know. I didn't know there was a problem. What? Is R3, is it because of the north-facing switches instead of the south? Have I seen the Core 60? No, I haven't. The last changes had major issues. Yeah, I just posted on the Discord. They're recalling their switches. The feel, dude, the feel looks cool, but I don't think I put my money down for it. But if you really like it and you want to like mod it and take out like the standoffs and stuff, it's probably a good buy. The GHS RAR overpriced at 580. 580 kind of hurts, bro. But it's a TKO, so it's on the higher end of prices of TKO. I think if it can it compete with the Andromeda? The Andromeda is like that classic TKO look with like no frills design, but just like very good manufacturing. If it can, then great. But if it can't, then it's expensive. Dude, that... Wait, I didn't update the command. Hold on. Andy is lubing some mode reflex for tomorrow's 80 on Twitch. Okay, sorry. I didn't save it. The RAR is a 75? I thought it was a TKO. So I like the color scheme of Miami Nice. I did when I was watching Brandon Taylor in my Bad Seat Tech early on. And I was like, yo, I want these custom keyboards with these colors. You know, the cotton candy type look. And then after I got into keyboards, I kind of tamed down my my preferences. This is the brightest I'll go. Blue. Lubin film still trash? Oh, the Kiwis? Some people use cream top Kiwis and I think it sounded pretty good. It was weird. I feel like the Kiwis Franken switched with different tops sounded better than T1's Franken switched with different tops. I would not use butter. That's how you get ants, bro. Have you ever tried non-conventional looser switches? I don't want to waste my time with that. People always ask me like, have you used 206? Have you used GH4 or whatever? I'm like, yo, I know that 205 works and I'm just not, I don't have the patience to try other things. Dragon fruits are a miss. I trust I trust Brandon Taylor. Thoughts on leaf spring mounts? I don't really feel a difference with them personally. I like gasket mount the most, or a good top mount. I'd rather take a good top mount than a poorly implemented gasket mount. KD6 have 1 gram of lube. Depends on how lightly you lube. If you lube lightly, you can make it, but I would just buy more. Do I like stab maintenance? No, I freaking hate stabilizers, dude. Stabilizers gonna make me quit the hobby. I think they're making R2 for AK68 Aurora. Yeah, there will be. They announced that they're gonna do it, or they like asked if people were interested in a peaches and cream version. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna run it again. With injection molded polycarbonate, it's easy to do multiple runs. So just look back at the novel NK and doing the NK65E. They ran that over and over and over again. I like pewters with 3204 and fill, and I'll use a TX 65 gram 14 mil spring. BW4T superior over Holy Panda. I would rather go with the BW4T because it sounds a little deeper. Do I drive a WRX and or vape? Nah, JT. I drive a 19 RAV4 and I don't smoke anything. I'm not that kind of Asian dude. I'm not a Kevin Nguyen dude. I'm an Andy Nguyen. This is from Bear Cables. It's a loop station Bear Cables. Silicone make. Yeah, I was looking like we did the silicone mode with the Space 65 Cyber Voyager yesterday. And if you could accurately do a exact thickness to it, that would be the move. Lavenders on a palm plate for Polaris. Thoughts? I don't like lavenders are deeper, but I put it into the FR4 plate on my iron and it made the board sound hollow. So I feel like it doesn't sound as full. I would prefer lavenders on FR4, but palm could work. Some people like JWK on palm. I'm glad that could help you, Martin Brown. Can they make a switch out of sandpaper? There is like a thing you can put into switches that helps you degrade, like wear down the surface to break it down. I haven't looked at the GHS RAR. But between them, Alex Otis takes a more like positive approach. McMerlin has a lot more background in keyboards. He's very particular. It's not like he's smart or anything. He just takes a more like meticulous approach. So between the two, you can probably come up with a good conclusion as to what that board is. Hey, I'm moving to LA. What, Merlin? He's like in... Why would someone move to LA right now? I think everyone's trying to move out of LA. It's not like he's smart or anything. It's not like he's smarter. I don't want to... Everyone likes tier lists and shit. I'm just saying, they take a different approach to analyzing boards. What are your thoughts on design 03 Alice style keyboard? I haven't really looked into it. Polaris, palm half plate, Moz, LUBE, Desky film. I would prefer to do inks on palm half, but Moz will work fine. All I know is I think creams on palm sucks. Creams on palm, I don't like. I like cream on a more rigid plate. Text is the only move, I wish. How much have you spent on keyboards? 5 digits? Linear for gaming and tactile more comfortable for typing? Do you think it's true? Nah. I use linear for everything. I just find like heavy tactiles tiring for everything as well. I would say like most people prefer tactile for gaming and then linear for typing if you really want to make a distinction. Yeah, cream's kind of bum. Bro, make more comparison vids. The Profit vs. the Polaris are my favorites. I'm glad you like that one, Tridigi. People were trying to cancel that video too. Like, who do you think you are? You think you could control the stonks of Profit and Polaris? I'm like, well, the Angel didn't come out too hot, and I don't know if anything had to do with me, but that didn't sell out. I don't know what happened to that one. I'm under 30. Creeps on KVD67 Lite R2 PC plate. I'm not sure. I feel like it would still show the scratch. These are TX films, 0.15 millimeter. You can game on those fine, but will you type on it all day and use it as a daily? Some people do that though. I have some clients that have me built that. Yes, looks 5 digits. I'm trying to get down to 4. That's 5 digits active. But the problem with that is I invested in a bunch of group buys, even though I hate group buys, but it's because I need it for content. And regret, because they're all delayed. Every single one. That's why the number creeps up. You're so insulted. You have a meeting in a few minutes. Oh yeah, people have real jobs, so go make that money so you can give some subs to my Twitch. Just kidding. I'm glad you stopped by even though you have a work day today. Why am I so underrated? I don't think I'm underrated. I think I'm properly rated. Keychron K2. Milky Yettles. PBT on white. Probably gonna sound good. Flipper confirmed. What? 80 gram tactile spring tactiles? That's too much. We did do, one of my clients did do 78 gram Zycos and that hurt my fingers. Nice, Beckman. I'm glad you stopped by. It's nice to see some friendly faces. Nick noticed. Chat be zooming. Where's my LUBE? That's a statement that's gonna get you demonetized. Where's my LUBE? No, but for real though, where did I put it? I mean, I have some on here, but I need. Is living switches and selling for a higher price considered flipping? No, what you're doing is providing a service. But if you were to, it's hard because there's a guy that does it poorly. As long as you do a good job, I think you're fine. But if you bag lube it and then charge like 50 cents extra, then you're kind of a joke. Do the washes or screw-in styles actually help? A little bit, yeah. It's not perfect. A tactile bump can be subtle. You get like a pewter or an ergo clear or a navy. Name drop right now? Name drop who? Oh. He still sells. So you want name drop? Okay. Nick, what was his name again? Mr. S says, why can't you ship me a key code right now for free? Because I don't have one. Is Salvation worth? Salvation's not gonna be a miss. There's no way it's gonna be a miss. Oh yeah, the beat off. The THEBIDOF. Kinda jank. Would not buy. Would not hire. And also the sides. I think it was the sides lubing service. I don't know his username. But he lubed a set of Gatoran inks for my client who had a Lin Whale Anniversary Edition. Those Gatoran inks ended up so over lubed that it sounded silent. So that was kind of unfortunate. SC says, pretty sure you're part of the reason Angel failed. I don't think it failed. I don't think it just like sold out. Imagine if that was why I lost the affiliate relationship I had with CK. I have none, Derek. You want lube switches for me so I can rate your service? Fine. So I don't have to pay for it. Can I send you my switches so I test out? Wait, I don't want to ruin my switches if you're bad though. I don't have a lot of money anymore. Best keyboard for alpacas? I mean, alpacas go well in anything, dude. What's the alternative to EPPT Kuroshiro? There's a gray Japanese one on Divinity, but it's not black. Holy Bulbas for our first switch, first build? Why would you do a Franken switch for your first build? That's like really expensive, no? Because that's gonna take Halo Clear, or Halo True, and a Boba, which is gonna cost you like 80-90 cents each. Kind of a lot. But you can just buy U for Thok. I'd rather just go U for Thok. I'll let you lube my switches if you want, SD. Yo, I charge a lot. I charge a stupid amount. Wait, is my mouse dead? Hold on. I charge an obscene amount because I don't like doing it. And then people still hire me. I'm like, alright, dope. It's worth it if it's that much. How much I charge, I'm not going to tell you. So I can keep my business. I think my mouse died, so I'm going to connect it. Kuroshio might get another GB run, but they don't have like all the black mods anymore. The black mods made it fire. Is lubing switches and selling for a higher price considered flipping? I answered that question already. It's not. You're providing a service. As long as you do a good job, that's fine. How much more tactility is a Holy Boba versus U4T? It's not going to be significant, but I feel like Holy Boba might be a little bit more tactile. It really doesn't. It really doesn't matter in my opinion. Maximum tactility was going to be getting the Zycos. Not you, the other guy. I can't afford you. U4T is really worth it, dude. U4T is a banger. $1 per switch. Springs bag lube only. I mean, you gotta spring lube bag, or you gotta bag lube springs. It's when you bag lube stems and then you charge. That's kind of whack. Is your dock charging for Viper also busted? I feel like it might be. Hasn't been perfect. So if you're curious to see how much I lube, I almost missed the spot. I go mad light these days. Okay, Can you go closer? Can you see it? There you go. Oh, there you go. These are mode reflexes. I can't even imagine a situation where I recommend Telios, actually. Yeah, light. I always go light. So what I do is I'll find a surface and I'll brush like this. Let me get closer. I'll brush and I'll just kind of rub it out. Wait. And I'll keep brushing until I don't see anything on the brush anymore. So right now on the brush, there's no whiteness, right? And then I start with that. My favorite linen right now is and it will always be Gatoran Ink Black. Did all that, I didn't grab it. Telos is the basil switch. And like once when you have lube on a brush, I was mistaken when I did the lube video. The number of swipes doesn't matter, because it's just how much lube is on the brush. Will I be able to finish this before I have to go? Is there a difference between spring lube? There is. Bag lube versus non-bag lube. With bag lube, with oil, there is like the slightest amount of ping if you slam the switch and put it in your ear, which you'll never really hear in use. But because of that, I've been bag lubing with a little bit of 25G0 in the bag. And it removes that without me having to brush manually. But I'm very particular. Do keycaps make a big difference in sound? Yes, they do. I use 25G0 for stabs. But it's expensive when you run like that. Our SP Stars meteor is pretty smooth. They're Tangy smooth. They're closer to Tangy than NK Cream. They don't need break-in. Yeah, 105 plus 205G0 in the bag. But I have to shake it more because 205G0 is kind of thick. So I'm going to shake it like twice as long, 3 times as long. How much better is the Jelly Epoch versus the Tofu 65? A lot better. The Tofu 65 ends up sounding a little hollow, so you gotta mod it with stuff. Can you actually notice the difference between smoothness between a JWK variant and one tapping normally? What do you mean? All the JWK variants are pretty smooth. I can't really hear the difference between them. Jelly versus Mode 80, just different layout. If you want TKL, you gotta go with Mode 80. 175, you can go with the Jelly. They both have a little eccentric look. The Mode 80 has a bigger forehead. Some people don't like that. Thoughts on wireless keep? I used the wireless SCOG reboot. I liked it. The wireless on the AK68 LE Pro was not as good. Turn on monetization. I should have had that on. Good night, Foss. Looping mode reflex switches. They're basically JWKs. Have I gotten burnt out on keyboards before? Yeah. That's why I don't build 3 times a week anymore. Would you rather buy AK68 Aurora or KD67 Lite? I like the AK68 Aurora more with the badges. It's a song of Flip on Debussy lubing music. This is lo-fi from Epidemic Sound. SP Star Meteor White should sound closer to Cherries, I think. The clack, but they're both clacky, so I can see how you can come to that conclusion. Do you think I should lube the stabilizer with Crytox or with dielectric? I personally like Crytox 205G0 more because I can control it better. Dielectric is just a little wild, bro. It does what it wants. It's thick nasty. What's the lube station from Bear Cables? Check their site, Bear Cables Co. Just put a header at the top. I can just... Will that do? SA keycaps comfortable for gaming? I don't like it because they're too tall. Can I review the KBD D60? Can someone buy it for me? I still would rather go with the KBD 67 Lite. It's hard. I wouldn't put like that much money into a 60 or a 65 from KD fans. I do it for the 8X, because that 8X is a banger, but otherwise, I don't know. The GMK Pro review, I want to build this first, so I have a good handle on its closest competitor. So I'll probably film Thursday morning, and then I'll try to rush a review out by Saturday. Where I get ganky ones, you just gotta hunt on Mech Market, bro. Unfortunately, I got a Mech Market. GMMK Pro or KVD67 Lite. I'd rather get the KVD67 Lite, but if you need the F-Row and you really want that knob, then you gotta go GMMK Pro. The knob and the F-Row is what sets the GMMK Pro apart. What type of development did I do? I didn't do a development. I'm a civil engineer. So if you use GMK keycaps and you compare it to like a Teihao, the GMK will be deeper. But when you compare a GMK with EBBT, the EBBT will be deeper. If you compare the EBBT to CRP, the CRP will be deeper. Randy says, why are you so handsome? Oh, stop it. Stop it. Just kidding. Most expensive aftermarket on GMK set? I think it'd be Matrix 01. Matrix 01 has a very limited quantity. Dude, I was scared it was gonna land on my mat and have to clean it again. MX Black on brass or PC for deepest sound? I feel like the brass would be deeper if you're comparing it one by one like that. It's hard. MX Blacks are just not deep. When you gasket it, it sounds pretty deep. So like a plate foam and a case foam. GMK LED Zep No Shine 700. Butterfinger Andy, yeah, that's me. No, I didn't. I only joined one GMK GB, and that was the Matrix, or not Matrix, the Olivia plus. And then I saw that delay and I never entered a GMK GB again. It was like 4 or 5 months delayed, and I was like, nah. Unfortunately, I don't have the same kind of self-control for keyboards, so I'm stuck in keyboard GBs. But for keycaps, nah. But I did enter Taobao CRP. Lube my buckling springs. Buckling spring keyboard is so loud. I haven't bought InfiniKey, but I haven't heard great things, unfortunately. The GB trauma, that's 100% true. Do you think this niche will grow past the need for GBs? It should, but then you look at like Peak Design, they did the Kickstarter model, right? They are so big now and they're still using the Kickstarter model because the GB system is like low risk, so if people are still willing to pay for that, it might be here to stay. But the GB model allows like smaller designers and designers to get boards out. Makes sense, I guess. Is there any good way to keep the film on the right place? You just have to kind of hold it and then slowly nudge it before you actually close it. What I think about the TKL F-Rolless layout, it's too wide for me. I would rather have the F-piece. What makes you prefer black inks over H1? Black inks are deeper and I like a deep sound. Thoughts on GMK clones? I don't support GMK clones. But you know, if you only have a certain amount of money, it is what it is. You do you, but if you post it online in the community, you're gonna get blasted, bro. It's not gonna be good. I heard A008 inks sounded different from regular inks. Brass plate or aluminum plate? It depends on the switch I ate that. I would also recommend if you change the name. That's kind of a messed up username. Do you think the insane flip prices will go down? Does Vickery help? I don't think Vickery helps. People will always want to flex upon each other. And some people have more money than sense. Living mode reflexes. You got lucky then, mentally stable. Congrats. How do I pick my engagement ring for my fiance? Or my finance? They made me, she made me a Etsy. What's that website with all the pictures? Pinterest board of what she likes. And I picked one from there. Like the look. She didn't give me exact options, just to look. She got some Dwarf V2s instead of C3s, been using GMK screwing for a while, want to try something new. I have experience with V2s and I like them more, but some people just swear by C3. Neither are bad though. Why is Kiko considered the most luxurious while other boards reach its prices? Kiko spends the most on their quality control. Like they have the cleanest final product, I think. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. Why just do one when you can do both? Shit, stuck. I'm very much a hybrid creator. Thank you, Alvaro. Notice, devil may clarify. Noticed. In your preference, do you like the sound and typing experience for the Iki68 Aurora or GMMK Pro? GMMK Pro typing experience sucks balls. It's just stiff. It's stiff and it like takes out all the character of a Switch. It's unfortunate. In a similar vein, the Iki68 has an element of that also, but there's like way more flex. So overall, I like the package better if you're not taking into account the knob and the F-row. I'll take the Iki68 over any day. Matthew Sable says, "Sell me a unicorn?" Nah, bro. Pay me 2x market price, and then I will. What's the best LUBE for stabilizer wires? There's no real best, but I like 205G0. DBZ if you feeling like being spendy. JMK Pro sucking. Facts is a decent starter board, but not for me. Yeah, like if you don't care about sound all that much, not everyone does. You just kind of want something to show off on your desk. It is what it is. It does that. The knob and the layout and everything like stand out from far away. When you get up real close and you listen to it and you type on it, the experience changes drastically. What group rides are you currently participating in? I have a few boards coming. What's the funnest build ever built? Dude, the silicone mod yesterday was kind of fun. I'm doing well, Mark. Thank you for asking. After I leave these switches, I'm gonna be prepared for tomorrow's build. I think I'm gonna do a shelf liner mod for the ID80 to do something accessible. And if I want to be fancy, we'll try to do the silicone mod. But the ID80 is a hollow mess, so we're gonna try to make it sound better. T-Leos or alpacas not for foreplay? Alpacas. Thoughts on O-rings? O-rings will wear, Ajay. On the stem, hell no. I did not get into the J01. Yo, can you send that to me to build, Axie? Please? The silicone only took an hour and a half. I think 6 hours is for curing something way thicker. But we only did like 2 or 3 millimeters thick in the case bottom. So I don't think we needed 6 hours. And it was fine after 1.5. Probably could have been done in 1. How many keyboards do I own? Personally, like 4 or 5. Have you ever listened to switches and thought this is underlubed? Not really. I mean, if it's underlubed, you could hear more scratch than you would otherwise. But it's not that big of a deal if it's underlubed, as long as there's some lube. If there's like inconsistently lubed, that's where the problem is. If it's consistently underlubed, I think it's fine. Because as you use it, you're gonna break in the switch. So when it's underlubed, you keep using it, it'll get smooth faster. Yo, the build command worked. Was ID80 considered budget at more than 170? It's cheap considered the hard, but there are better budget options, I feel. I had the ID80 Plus, and that was like 129. But I think there's like expensive ID80s. I agree with you there. But also, it's just kind of like a beginner board because of its mounting. I would try a thin tape mod on the actual stab wires. I wouldn't tape them. I would not tape the wires. I would try the Holy Bobas or other Franken switches. I have Holy Boba sound tests on my channel with the Vega. Dude, integrated plate with a thick 6.5 sounded good though. I liked it. The fiery ass. I think like lubed inks was a good balance of sound because it wasn't a distracting clack. Boba U4Ts are bangers, dude. Bangers. I bought the KBD67 Lite R2 because of your video. Do you still like it? I do like it. Nothing changed. 0.15 millimeters. I'm Jeffy Cho. Holy boba, best boba. Taro boba, best boba. Well, I'm talking about drinks though. So I learned from Harris Heller today that if I put my streams unlisted and make a playlist linking to them, I can allow you to watch the YouTube VODs without it kind of detracting from my statistics and analytics. So we're gonna be doing that from now on. Lube Gat Black Ink V1 Inks is Lube Gat Black V1 Inks is the best boba to drink. I don't want ink in my drink, bro. Taro Boys and Honeydew. Ooh, I miss Honeydew. That was definitely a thing I only got in Garden Grove. Sorry, brown sugar boba, best boba. What always confused me is when I've done it before, I've bought milk with boba. Like, why the fuck would I just buy milk? But it's so good. It's just good. Like, the milk they use is so good. Nice linear or tactile switch you get for the AK68. Yo, just listen to my sound test and pick one. Whatever sounds pleasant to your ears, man. Share tea, handmade taro. Handmade? They grow it themselves? Because it's full of sugar. Sugar makes everything better, right? Sweetened milk is the shizik, for real, but I feel like I'm getting robbed. Thanks, Sip. Using TX Films, Jeffy. I feel like you could have asked that question together. What thickness film? And then what brand of film? How would you fix the stiffness issue on the GMK Pro? You can't. You can try cutting the plate, but that's not recommended at all. I feel like because of the fact that they're a store and they have return policy and warranty, that definitely would fall under avoiding warranty. I did everything I could to not make it stiff, and I took out the case foam, did not use the PCB foam, and I took out some of the standoff screws. But because it's like physically, like there's a physical thing, it's not a screw, it still has the stiffness there. It's like an integrated standoff, unfortunately. So even with all that, it was too stiff and muted the sound of the switch heavily. All the switches sounded the same. OP blacks are like an OP switch and it sounded the same as everything else. Desky films are good. I just don't like installing them. Thinner PCBs are not ideal. It depends. Thinner PCB is just more flex and you often have to use shims. What's that blue switch on the thumbnail? That is SB Star Meteor White. Have you seen the drop GMK white on black katana? Yeah, I did. It looks pretty sick. I didn't buy it because it's still a GB. What type of foam is good on a keyboard? Shelf liner is the easiest and most accessible. You can get that from Home Depot. 1/8 inch is my recommendation. 1/16 if you need it. Pour on is another thing that's harder to buy. I bought that from Granger, but otherwise there's Eva foam and Sorbothane. Sorbothane is really expensive. If you're trying to find a 30 series, clap your hands. If you're trying to find a 30 series, good luck. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm short stems. Where's the rest of my stem? Oh, no wonder. I was like, there's the rest of my stems. Favorite overall keyboard? I like my Unicorn. Because it looks cooler than the Polaris. I don't like clear plastic cases. You want frosted. ID80 Plus is a cheaper variant. I have no experience with Alps, sorry. Best place to get in stock keycaps? Huh. Don't pin this. I haven't tried the ID80 V2. I only have the ID80 Plus here, so I'm gonna take a look at it. It would be separate streams. I can't dual stream Twitch and YouTube because I'm a partner. I'm pretty sure just like betting every day is gonna get you crazy points. I'm scared. Everyone has enough points to destroy me with the workout challenges. I heard about the black boba U4T. That's kind of lit. SP Stars, MX Blacks. I like SP Stars more because they are smooth. They both have like a really loud clack. So if you're into that kind of higher pitch clack, SP Stars, man. But the cherry clack has a very specific character to it. Is it worth it to buy Duroc clip-in styles to replace cheap stock styles? They make Duroc clip-ins? Subathon when? Not yet. We are getting another board to add to the Subathon giveaway stuff. But soon, TM, I think, sometime, maybe. These are based off of JWK. So if you take a look at this, 63.5 grams spring weight, comes lightly pre-lubed. I'm lubing over it. I'm not wiping it off. The sound and feel profile characteristic of the Steam Duroc linear, so it's going to be very similar in sound and feel to JWK Duroc switches. The top housing has the molds for the logo for the mode. Yeah, it's manufactured by Duroc. It uses V2 stems. I don't know what the lead-in feeling is, and it's a 141C Pantone. Care about that. Hot tub stream when? If I got more donations and stuff, I can consider it. Just kidding. Also, Duroc made plate mount. Yeah, any kind of upgrade over the stock on plate mount is gonna be better. Best lube tray. Look at this tray, dude. This is a screw tray, but lube station. I found that I like the flat more. So I had a Prime KB one before and it was angled. I think I like flat more. But the best is actually drop trays. Divinity is releasing new product though. So make sure you go to my channel, my Discord channel. Go and click the Divinity affiliate link. They're releasing like these little mini trays where you can put all your little tools together and lube your housings. JWK linears are Gator and Black Ink. If you like clack, go with the JWK. If you like deep, go with the Gator and Black Ink. DZ 63.0 PCB split spacebar. Split spacebar is cool, but it looks ugly. Nice, actually, congrats. What's my thought? I think I got everything. But do our plate now? Yeah, call it the chat. Okay. Just slowing down. I can actually lube. So it takes me like 3 hours to lube switches, bro. It's kind of ridiculous. The stream right now has already been a minute. Do I think the SM7B is worth it? No. You can get a deep sound like this from EQ. You don't need an SM7B for this sound. But the noise isolation is better than its competitors. My other mic is the RE320. I really want to use that again. I like the sound out of it. But I have to be aware that it's going to pick up a little bit more background. But I turn off all the sound, the things that make sound in my room anyway. So it's a non-issue. At least 65 or Salvation. Salvation's a 60, isn't it? People need to stop treating 60s and 65s as the same. If you like a 60, you gotta go for the 60. Like a 65, you gotta go for the 65. I like coffee more than tea. Tea doesn't do anything. Would I recommend the Tofu 65? Yeah, if you want an aluminum 65. But I like the Savage 65 more for sound and feel. But they haven't re-released that in a while. I've been lubing switches for a while. So as long as you get a consistent amount of lube on the brush, you could literally just hit it one time and then flip it over. Fuck, I don't even know if I flipped it over. Then flip it over again, hit the side, move one more time, get the front, and you're good to go. I don't even have to look at it anymore. Because normally when you lube, if you're starting out, you want to put it up against the light. So move this over, hold on. Put up against a light and then you're looking, right? Okay, did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? Okay, cool. But for me, I don't think you need to go into that much detail. I'm lubing the I don't lube the pole. Someone asked me that in the in my comment section. The wire or the spring is already lubed, right? So why would I need to lube the pole? Also, there's already factory oil on this, but I never lube the pole separately. Yeah, Block, if you're starting out, you can do that. But once you get a hang of it, I don't think it needs to be QC'd every single time. I've never tried the KTT roses. You lube the pole and the leaf? Yeah. Would you believe that none of the sound tests on my channel have lubed leaves? Like specifically lubed leaves? One other thing, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. So I had my Gathering inks lubed by someone else. Gathering V1, right? I sent them all to get lubed by someone. And technically, if you look at the stem, let's get real up close and personal, right? Look at that bear logo. So you look at this, right? Let me turn the light. So you want to lube all four sides. So those two legs there, the front, the sliders and the piece of plastic underneath, the back, and the slider on the other side. So I was looking at my Gathering V1s and it was like glass smooth. Literally zero noise. Couldn't even hear the spring. It was that good. I looked at it. Only the sides, like only the sliders were lubed. And a little bit on the legs. I think this rectangle part here and the rectangle part in the back were not lubed. And it was glass smooth. So I do not think, honestly, that going through all this detail, looping every single freaking part. I know there's that Imager album where it shows like what makes contact with what. There's definitely diminishing returns. Any cheap aluminum boards that are good, it would start at $250 for aluminum or $200 for the Brutal 60. And if you look at the Brutal 60 and the sound test of it, it's a cheap board, right? But with cheap aluminum boards, you end up with something hollow usually. The podcasts are Gathering Ink Black. I always pick Gathering Ink Black because I like the deep sound. What's my opinion on people using GB keyboards and reselling them? It's bad. Don't care. So the reality is I enter a GB, right? And then I wait 6 to fucking 12 months. It hurts. More likely than not, by the time the 12th month came, probably not even excited about the board anymore. The 2 GB boards I entered and I got tired of them real fast because it's like, dude, I know. And just sold. As long as you use it, but if you just enter it and then you don't build it and then you sell it, there is kind of a situation where you may need the money more at this point. Or you're just no longer interested in it. It's really hard to judge the intent or the motive. But I would at least try and build it. At least. Hello, Fabulous. What's the best keyboard kit? That's a loaded question. It's hard to answer. It's based on your preference. There's no best. And also based on your budget too. Dude, the NK65 aluminum is one of the worst deals. KD67 Lite was a GB. Yeah, it was like a pre-order because they can make those faster, I think. I don't think they should pay for what they. I don't think they have to charge or sell it for what they paid for it, because your money was tied up for like 6 months, 6 to 12 months. But there is an egregious resale. So if you're bored. So like right now, this unicorn right here, right? Cost me about $600, $700. The market price is creeping toward 2,000. Do I think that someone is unethical for selling that off for anything higher than 700? No. But if they're trying to sell it for 2.5, the market's 2,000. Like, okay, bro, come on now. Let's be a little bit more reasonable. Hello, Connor. So if the price is like 2,000 and you sell, let's say you sell at like 1.8, 1.5 or whatever the old value was a few weeks ago, then if you can feel better about yourself. But I'm not going to police what people sell at. But here's the thing. Just like in the pandemic, if you were to resell anything, like like me, I was reselling gym equipment. I can resell gym equipment from profit if I want. But the thing is, I can't get mad when people are mad at me for selling equipment. So you can sell for whatever you want, but people are just gonna get mad at you. And if it doesn't matter to you, do whatever you want to do. Is there an ethical way? Like, even if you sold it for, like, if I sold this keyboard for, let's say $1,500, someone's gonna call me a flipper anyway. Because, bro, how much you pay for it? How much is retail? Like, yeah, but the market value right now is creeping toward 2,000. Oh, bro, you're a flipper. Like, right. The internet's gonna be the internet. It's tough. Thoughts of Tejas selling Kiko for 1,700? You can do whatever you want with his money, man. It gets weird as creators. If I get a board for free and then I sell it for like market value, then it's. So did Teja buy that Kiko? Have you used any keyboard that's not from Sambred? No, I haven't. We play a lot from our Clocky tin can ball sounding keyboard. You want a stiff plate for a clack. How long will it take me to lube 100 switches? 100 would be like 4 or 5 hours. Resin case, I don't know what the resin case is. Red iron 165, yeah or nay? That's a nay, dude. That red is a really whack color. So what I know is, y'all know how if I sell something for profit, you're like, oh, this streamer is taking advantage of his position, flipping, right? You know what that yields? Remember the prohibition days where alcohol was illegal to drink? People just did it under the table. So you know what happens when Reddit Mech Market puts this like ridiculous pressure or this like really keen eye and keeps their eye out for creators or streamers selling things for higher than what they paid? They just sell it under the table, bro. They just send it, they have someone proxy the board and they just sell it that way. So if you get mad at creators doing it, they're just gonna have like a third party do it for them. So like, I think at the end of the day, most people, not all, are gonna want to get as much money as they can out of things they bought or waited for, or have like been able to secure in what way. So we can be mad all they want, but it's still gonna happen. Can I breakdance? I know how, but I'm not gonna breakdance right now. That is a Twitch stream thing, and I have things on my floor. And Vega around 2 GB isn't gonna happen anytime soon. Don't hold your breath on that. Yeah, they haven't even shipped the first round. I think it just gets sus when people bought to flip, but that's any hobby at this point. Yeah, that's my line too. Because when I was selling the gym equipment, I manually went and got it. I would wait at a certain time, refresh, and try to dial in my checkout technique to be fast. If I botted it, like with botters, dude, I talked to someone who said they botted something. They said they forgot to turn off the bot. They closed their laptop and it went to sleep, and they opened it up later with a checkout. It was like checked out. I was like, okay, that makes me feel gross. Like that in itself is kind of fucked. How hard is it to get SAT75 extras? I was able to get my SAT75 on extras like when I started the hobby, but after it won Mech Madness that one year, and after we see that there's like 1,000+ people that want the board, I'm not so sure that it would be easy. But Candy Keys does their raffle system, so it's kind of it gives everyone equal chance. Is Red Iron 165 any closer to the Red Constellation? I'm not sure. I'd have to see it in person. Thoughts on the TGR JNP2 versus V2 CE? I don't really have thoughts on them because they're way beyond my price budget. Any tips on how to get rid of spring pre on gap black inks? The V2 spring is kind of bad. You would have to spring swap. Any bad side effects of newbies like me rushing to the market? If you have the money, dude, whatever makes you happy. But in my opinion, if you're a newbie and you rush to buy something, you're likely to just be unhappy. I'm gonna go just a face cam. I don't think the best way for me to lube is like closer to my body so I can see. Like the camera doesn't see this part. This is where I'm lubing right here. Thoughts on Topper boards? I haven't really tried them, but I tried the Brio Force and it's pretty nice. Like with any kind of pre-built, it would have been nicer to do the stabs or mod the stabs a little bit. Stabs were a little rough. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you for the kind words. How long does it take Tangies or banana splits to come back in stock? You'll email them. I wouldn't know. They're the business. How are stock springs and SP Star linears? They're just light. I spring swap anyway. I spring swap all my switches, so I don't really test stock springs. I had best experience with 1UP, but that was one period of time. They order at different times, so if it were good last week, it may not be good this week, you know what I mean? Unless you order at the same time and I find a good batch. People ask me like all the time, like, oh, what's the best site to buy from now? I'm like, I'm not buying more inks. I don't need them. I will buy my cables from Bear Cable. I have an affiliate link on my Discord. Best plate material for Thaki sound. I like aluminum. I have Holy Modded styles and they do pretty well with Band-Aid. Where do I store stock springs? I throw it in the trash. But you can put it into a plastic bag if you want a Ziploc. I did keep one of my springs because it was like progressive spring. So I put them in a bag and I forgot to label it, but I should. Yeah, swap springs for the feels, ping, plethora of reasons. Whatever feels best for you, Justin. I like TX 65 gram 16 mil spring. Some people like 63.5 slow curve springs from Sprit. Alpaca V2 versus Duroc Palm. Do you want the cream sound? Then go with the Duroc Palm. If you like the Alpaca GAWK clack, then alpacas. I don't think there is. I don't know. There's only like 1 or 2 third-party sites for Tangies. They typically sell through their own store, TKC. But I think there's another like international store, so you may end up having to pay more for shipping. I recommend spring swapping. It's like a standard thing. It's just part of the LUBE switch prepping process for me. How does swapping spring change the feel? Because the spring is what you feel. You have heavier weight, lighter weight, different force curve. I haven't tried the Cobalt palm switches. I haven't looked at the Alpine 65. I mean, I looked at it, but then it wasn't something that stood out to me all that much. It just felt like another keyboard. So if you just listen to a sound test. If the sound test and aesthetic speak to you, then go for it. But it wasn't enough for me to remember it. I use TX springs. Some people use Sprit. Some people have been experimenting with like long springs too. I have the Southpaw 75 V2 planned. The runner took a break recently and is coming back. It's an aluminum case. Numpad on the left, basically a 60% layout. Cerakoting changes. Cerakoting is a little bit rougher than anodization, so I don't like it. So I try to get my E-white straight from the jump. There's a significant difference element. It's not a huge deal though. I wouldn't like take out 14 mil and put in 16 mil. It's just more force to actuate at the top. Did Jelly Epoch stand out to me? Yeah. The sound is sweet, dude. Listen to the sound that's on my YouTube. That is a sweet sound. I don't have any Vint boards, but I have Vint black switches. I don't like the old school aesthetic. Is silicone mold better than foam? For the purpose of the Space 65, the foam included was kind of jank. So in that case, yes, it was better. I think if you're gonna go through the effort, I think it's gonna do well on a lot of boards. My only concern would be that it would make it too too muted. But that, if you're concerned about muted, then you wouldn't be doing case foam anyway. For real, Robo. For real. But today's stream, as I said, no silly keyboard questions. So I'm gonna answer all of them. I'm here for you, chat. You just need to lubricate my lips. My fiance just looked over and she's like, what the fuck did you just say? Oh yeah, use some of that chapstick. Favorite board right now is the unicorn. What's the best budget linear for people that's new to the hobby besides Got Yellow? It's Got Yellow. Use your Got Yellow until you find something else. But you can get SP stars that are a little bit. Then you can get SP stars for like 45 cents each instead of the JWK at 55. So you could maybe save 10 cents per switch, and I could consider that cheaper. But then right after the Got Yellow, you got like JWK at 55. So there's not much else within that price range. If you could commission one board for free, what would it be? Like build it? Chain V2CE, I guess, to see the hype. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. If someone buys that, they want that experience for themselves, man. Number 2 SS from Kiko would be pretty cool too. The TKLs from Kiko are intriguing. Why is my channel so small? Why are you talking about my PP like that? I'm just kidding. If you watched the premiere yesterday, it was very interesting. So we did the YouTube video premiere, and before the video started, my dislikes went from like 2. Why even have dislikes on something that hasn't even started to like 35 within seconds? Everyone in the chat saw it, and it's almost as if they're active forces trying to keep me like suppressed. I'm not tripping about that, but I'm just different, dude. I spend a lot of time critiquing things in such a way that it doesn't really serve a bigger audience, I guess. I don't know. I've only been doing it for so long, so I'm not tripping about it. I don't know if Cobalt palm linears are the same as direct palms. Isn't there like a J-Wick switch too? That's cheap. I like banana splits more than Alpaca V2, but I feel like there's the same switch. But when I did the sound test with a banana split, people were like going crazy over it. My frog TKL, man, the frog TKL's lit. It's that low front height, right? Just built different. Yeah. Do I like pewter switches? I do. I built them in Iron-180 and I really like the feel. What's the advantage of leaf spring plate mounts in boards like the Salvation and the Thermal? I honestly don't feel a big difference in leaf spring, so I can't really tell you. Do you know what screws I should remove in a GMK Pro for a less stiff experience? Evan, I already removed the screws. I'm gonna tell you, it didn't make it any more flexible. So what I did with the GMK Pro is, okay, pretend this is the board. So these 2 sides are necessary, unfortunately, or else the acrylic pieces for the side glow doesn't do anything, are not gonna work. So what I did was I took away the center top and the center bottom. But because the plate has that wraparound thing, if you take out the screw, it's still being sandwiched by the gasket and still being compressed here. So it's still feeling like a sandwich and it's still going to feel stiff, no matter how many screws you take out. I also took out the middle 2 standoffs to see if it can give it any more like flexibility. But it didn't. It just didn't. Gateron Ink, my top 3 switches. Gateron Ink for the linears, pewters for the tactiles. And a close second would be the JWK China V3. Close third, I mean. Yeah, I recommend pewters for a tactile switch if you want a light tactile. So if you want to go from MX Brown and you're too scared of Holy Panda because the bump is crazy, or like a Zelio because the bump is crazy, then a pewter or an Ergo Clear or a Navy would be the switches to look at for tactiles. I have shiny GMKs. My Moto's shiny. You're welcome, Evan. Anytime. See, chat, I'm not toxic. For some reason, I actually know why. So I was talking to Brandon Taylor the other day on his stream. He was streaming on Twitch. He said that there's like very little purpose to making a negative review of a product, especially if it's already in its production, because you're kind of like blasting a company for even giving it a try making it. At the same time, because it's already been sold, the only thing you're doing is alienating the audience that has already bought that item. So if I make a review, which I still will because I believe it's important, of the GMK Pro, and I say bad things about it, whether or not they're true, the people that have already bought it, have already committed to it, don't want to be made fools of. So they're gonna see this video and be like, no, he's wrong. He's just an elitist, because they're kind of trying to defend their purposes, their preferences, and on something they already spent money on, which is unfortunate. It's just kind of like how we are as people. I've already bought the A7S III right here. It was a stupid amount of money, right? But I still watch reviews on whether or not it's worth it. Why? Because I want people to tell me that I wasn't dumb in my purchase. But we all know fully well, me, we all know that I did not need an A7S III, but I have it. So rather than not watching these review videos to try to protect yourself, because after you bought something, dude, like real talk, if you have already bought it, stop watching review videos. It's only going to hurt you, right? It's only going to hurt you. Just stop looking up, stop going up to online being like A7S III problems. Why would you want to look that up? You've already spent your money on it. There's maybe some purpose of that if you are within the return policy, maybe. But you're only hurting yourself, dude. You're only hurting yourself. Are Peter smooth after the bump? Yeah, they're unwiped switches, so they're pretty smooth. T1s are also decent medium tactiles, but they kind of feel kind of boring. Heard good things about Everglide Water King? Nah, they fucking bunk. Do not buy Aqua Kings. The stems are too large, and they get caught on the top housing. There's a 10% miss rate on the switches. So if you really want them, you gotta buy extra and cherry pick maybe. Does anyone have tips to have a Taki board? Case foam usually helps on most boards. So a shelf liner is really cheap from Home Depot. I was thinking about making a keyboard with DZ60 with alpacas and a polycarbonate plate. What case would be good? I think you should... doesn't that only fit in the tofu? Felix the Cast says, but the next step is them to realize that sometimes you buy shitter. Yeah, we make bad decisions all the time. Same thing with Apple versus Android. Dude. Yeah. I still watch those kinds of videos. I'm the opposite. I watch review videos so much that I end up not buying anything because I can't decide. Well, it's better if you watch a review video before you buy it, but that scenario is called analysis paralysis. Anger is on fire, and I agree with you. I did that too. I only watched sound tests of a keyboard I bought. Very inspiring, but you know we won't stop for real, dude. I have the same problem too. The reason I watch Andy McMillan, GYMV, etc. is because they're honest about what they think. Yeah, GYMV is really honest. So much so that I personally can't watch him because it's like too critical, and I don't want to know that kind of detail about things. Because I feel like if I get into that kind of detail, I'll just be unhappy, perpetually unhappy. You want opinions from YouTubers that support yours? Yeah, people do want that. I do game Project Zero. I play Overwatch and some Warzone and some Valorant. People ask me about PLA60, but I don't like remember. Felix says the mirror is more to the right. What? Only joke. I just do the same thing while watching reviews after, but I don't go leave hate. Yeah, some people they feel better if they leave hate. Like, fuck this guy, he's wrong. Do you feel they're allowed to dishonest reviews in the MK keyboard YouTube community? So we just talk. We go back to the Brandon Taylor example. He said that there's no point in saying or making a negative review, right? So because also we have limited time as creators, so the content that you see that is the effort has been put into the content is probably positive. I don't think people are dishonest, but I feel like there's a little bit of like leeway people give toward products depending on whether or not they were made by their friends. Because the keyboard community is so small, it's unlikely that you're going to say a heavily critical thing on something that your friend made, right? It's just human nature, I think. Such a weird dichotomy that is streaming reviews. I agree, Felix. System-wide says, snagged an Iron 165 and Graphite on the last GB. Nice. Any GMK sets you recommend? Moto? Rainy day? I'm trying to catch up to the chat. Does a longer stem mean no cherry profile interference? Might. Theoretically, yes, Fluffy. What's my go-to solder wire? Let me type my command. I wonder if my keyboard commands work. Does this work? I'm gonna read the chat. Serious keyboards are nice. The Palm version is very nice. I don't know about the PC version because that's a new thing. On a KBD67 Lite, could you cut the mute silicone like a half plate? Yeah, you can. Definitely could. That would work. I would love you to do an S7 Elephant build, insane bezel. We're doing the Piggy. JYMV review was beautiful. The NK65. Well, the NK65 is not good. Made me happy. I miss GB, but he would probably hurt your feelings. How do I main Overwatch? I'm an off-tank main. I've been getting better at DPS. So now that I've played Valorant, right? I got better at aim. I'm back to my original main, which is Soldier. I destroy Pharah, dude. Pharah is just deleted when I get up on the scene. Getting to my favorite, JWK Giant V3 is my runner-up. Full Nylon JWKs are pretty interesting to me. Bueno says, love you long time, love you too. Love you too, brother. What are washers for that came with Duroc V2? That would be for the screw on the stabilizer. Yeah, it's hard because as a creator, dude. So right now I'm full time, right? I make more money making positive reviews, theoretically. So it's like, if you are more honest, then you have to rely on your community to give you more money. If you're more positive, you can get more money from the companies that ask you to pay for sponsor spots. So it's like weird. It's like you gotta balance. So does the creator want to ask their community for more money? Because when I ask of you something, like asking you to subscribe, giving me a like on the stream, every time I do that, please subscribe though, it feels a little bit less like personal. It feels like I want something out of you. So when I ask for, if I try to like expect more Twitch subs and donations, it feels a little So when I start doing merch, some people will want to support me, but a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a cash grab. But the reality is the creator has to make money somehow, right? So I personally think that the companies that get this platform of mine, this community of mine, should pay more. At the same time, do I want to give them a free pass just because they're paying for a spot? It's like very nuanced and it's tough. Very tough. Piggy would be good for deep sound build? I think so. Soldier main, I thought we'd be friends. Wow, you a Pharah main? Will the holy mod accumulate gunk under the bandage adhesive? I don't know. I haven't used it long term, so it might. Because I know band-aid mod underneath the stab above the PCB with the lube. Ugh. JK, he's fun. He's funny. The funnest character is Ashe. I feel like I get nervous with Ashe. I'm better with McCree, but having to go down scope gets me nervous. Jacob, yeah, I'm basically explaining like the difference between a sellout and not a sellout. Doc is learning with the ink black. Sellout Andy, I forgive you. Doc is learning with the ink. Ink or full nylon JWK. Why does everyone keep asking Darky's Liner? You guys trolling me, bro? I'm being trolled. I feel like I'm being punked right now. If you tried Pacos, how is that tactility compared to Peters? Pacos are way more tactile than Peters because Pacos are a Halo true stem in the T1 housing, right? Or cream housing? Is it cream housing? Either way, if you're using a Halo true stem, it's gonna be have a bigger bump. Baki is clicky. I like my cookies lube, bro. Smoothest clicky. Clickies are evil. I do have an IRL friend that loves clickies. I've never sat down and asked her to explain. NK6 are great if you don't want to lube. I built a cyberboard hot swap with them, NK Silk Reds, and they're pretty good. They're not as deep as if they were lube, but yo, they're pretty solid. Yo, I forgot to eat lunch. I'm hungry. My stomach just grumbled. Ajay, why are your messages being retracted? What are you doing, bro? Box navies for sure. Box navies or box jades? Which one hurts more? I think jades hurt more. Why do I enjoy Overwatch? Because I spent time being a sweaty in that game, so I understand the mechanics above an average level, so I can win. Whereas Valorant is just way too sweaty for me. If you're forced in the corner and had to, which clicky would you use? Oh god. I'd rather die. I'm just kidding. Can you cut a full plate into half plate if you tried? Yes, but it would look super ugly. Some people have done it with the Palm and PC, and I was gonna do that with my Palm plate, and then I realized how scuffed it looks. So I decided to just sell my Palm full and buy a Palm half. I'm on death row. KBBQ, dude. Give me. I want the last thing I taste in the world to be meat in my mouth. Yeah, I use 0.15 millimeters films. You only need lighter or thinner ones if you're using creams, or maybe holy pandas if you really want to or film those. Read any good books lately? Thank you for stopping by. Total man. They follow by Audible. I'm really glad that my buddy Key Realtor gifted me this book. Let me log in. Tools of Titans: The Tactics, Routines, and Habits of Millionaires, Icons, and World-Class Performers by Tim Ferriss. That's a banger. That's a banger. Favorite silent switch? I don't like silent switches. What's a good half plate? I like Palm half, but PC half, but it all depends on your switch. YouTube and Twitch. I am a full-time content creator. I do not have any other job than this. Upcoming Audible ad spot? Fuck, I wish. Notice me, Audible. Yo, real talk though, I did get a photography job today, and it's a few $100s. It's a little bit more effort than an ad spot, but yo, at least we have a little bit less stress in paying our bills this month. So I'm doing an engagement photo shoot in Griffith Observatory. Be sick, it'd be sick. How to type faster? There's like websites that help you kind of get more accurate with certain keys. So you'll drill like one finger hitting all the keys for the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger. I think that's the best way to practice if you're trying to practice. And just type more and type with the proper fingers. So use your pinkies and it'll help. Jay says, fuck bills. Well, I'm an adult. I still gotta pay him. Thanks, Austin. Would a piggy be good for a deep sound talk board? So if you want a deep sound board, what you want, in my opinion, is a top mount and a low front height, because everything's kind of sandwiched and there's less void space in there. The sound, especially with the top mount, is pretty deep. Our FR4 plates usually stuffy. FR4 is a non-metal, but it is not the most flexible. It's the most balanced plate in my opinion, but it's not as flexible as PC and Palm. While Alpaca's still talking to KVD67 Lite, the DojiCon sound test I put up, that is basically an Alpaca. So if you like that sound, that's a very similar sound as to what you're gonna get. Any tips for photography, and what is your opinion on getting a good budget camera for a total newbie? A6000, A6300 are my recommendations because you can get that creamy crop sensor. And I recommend Sigma lenses because they are cheaper than their Sony lens counterparts. And in terms of tips, dude, just learn your exposure triangle and practice more. You can look at tutorials all day, but the less you practice, the less good you're gonna get. I've been taking pictures for more than a decade now. So I'm getting in my 10,000 hours for mastery if you read that book. And that's all it is, man. Of course, when I started, I took pictures of flowers and dogs and my friends. We all start there. Back then, it was Flickr. All the boomers remember Flickr. Any tips on recording clean audio for sound tests? Get the microphone off the camera. Turn off anything you can. Honestly, turn off your PC if you can. Turn off the fan, turn off the AC. And honestly, you know the cleanest sound test, or the cleanest audio? Voiceover artists, they record in their closet because all the clothes deaden out the sound, so there's like less reflection of walls. So that's a thing. If you want to just set up a table in your closet. But try to get a rug in that room. If you have to, just grab a bunch of blankets, put on the floor. This will help deaden out the sound because of reflections. This is if you have a wood floor. If you have carpet, you're probably fine. Being a full-time content creator, are you worried about swearing on YouTube? If I swear on YouTube, it just changes the monetization. So Swearing doesn't make your YouTube videos get less ads. It just changes the classification. So certain brands will want only the cleanest. Certain brands will be okay with something less, and certain brands will be okay with like straight up vulgar. They don't care, and they just want that classification on YouTube's behalf so that the monetization can be done properly. So you don't want like a church or a baby brand on a stream or a video where someone swears. It's all about classification. It's not like if you swear you make less money. Hi, Andy. Sorry to ask another question about GMK Pro. Do you know if there's a configuration that would make it a bit softer? No. Yeah, adding more gaskets would definitely make it stiffer, so I don't understand what Alex Sotos was saying. I think he said the sound was better with more gaskets. Like, there's already no room for the gaskets as it was shipped with one set. I don't know. I wouldn't add more gaskets. What are you using to mount the overhead camera? So if you go to my... did my keyboard gear command work? Let me type out... I have a breakdown of what I use, and this will help. So, does this link work? Yeah, let's pull this up. So here, this kit.co page, these are affiliated links. So if you go here, it's gonna help support me. I break down the three most important things: audio, lighting, camera. So I start with audio, how I mount the audio. These are some useless ass acoustic panels that don't really do anything, but it helps like 1%, 1-2%. I bought it anyway, wanted to try it out. Lighting and batteries for the lighting. For the camera itself, the mounting system, it's gonna be right here. I use an Elgato master mount to get it up, and then a flex arm to get it over. And then I use this clamp to get my face cam on that same vertical arm. These two things together. And then some other miscellaneous things. And on top of that, I go down the line. So if I want to get some more affordable, the Shure MV7 over the Shure SM7B. These Samson CO2 pencil mics are really good. I also like the other mics here. They're much cheaper. RA320 is my runner-up for the SM7B. I also still own this mic. I really like it. And shock mounts, mic arms, audio interfaces. That's all here. So make sure you check this out if you're curious about what I use for streaming. You're welcome, Evan. Personally, would I go tofu or KVD? If you want aluminum, you gotta go tofu. If you're okay with plastic, then you can run the KVD 67 Lite. How do I wire balance stabs? It's hard. I'm still trying to figure it out, dude. I spent all this time balancing out these wires, and they still ended up ticking. So someone asked me in comments. So. Alright, you get a wire, you get some pliers, you grab both ends, right? If you twist this end to try to balance it, you're gonna lift this end up. So what I ended up doing was, I have wires here. Where did I get my gathering fee ones? I got on from one seller on Mick Market. So if I twist like this, right? It's gonna lift the left side up. So what I did was, I grab across, so it's holding the section that goes across also, and I tried to balance it this way. That way, the left side doesn't get twisted. Then you do the same thing with the other side, and you just gotta keep going back and forth. And it's gonna take a long time. Really is gonna take a long time. There's no real easy way about it. And the idea is to get it truly flat, or as close to flat as you can. I haven't really looked into the fair. Can you recount extra keys on the keyboard into dedicated program launchers? Let me check. I don't know, actually. I don't think so. You might have to use AutoHotkey. Alright, so this is my H60 PCB. Let's say I'm on layer 2. Yeah, I don't think you can launch program. I don't think so. Polycarb, aluminum, or brass plate for linears? It depends on which linear. What I think of the slightly lower F and J keys on what keycap set? Lately the switches have been really dry and scratchy when I play with them. Is there anything I do to improve my relationship with switches so they can be more LUBE and consistent? Give him some TLC and some love, dude. Take him out to dinner. I've seen videos where doing the FC mod on the stabs will help remove rattle. Yeah, the FC mod is the most reliable, but it's also way more time than I'm willing to spend on stabilizers. That's basically my consensus from my 4 hours of lubing stabs video or stream. Do you think the Hyperlight MX buff sounds scratchy even after broken in? Nah, after you break them in, they'll be smoother. That's what Vints are. Vints are broken in MX blocks. Anything is possible with QMK? With QMK, yes. In VIA, nah. If you want a 75, you got $400 and you want in stock, then go for the jelly. It's the plan to buy keyboards is not that complicated. If people need to get over the idea that you buy a keyboard and it's gonna be your one keyboard forever. The reality is you're gonna change your mind, and you're basically asking, will I still like this keyboard 6 months, 12 months from now? Nobody's gonna know, dude. My favorite sounding board right now, I think I like the Vega with the SB stars, but the Unicorn I really like also. But the Unicorn with the Gateron ink, I think the feel isn't as in the best spot for me. But any board, if you do palm with inks on it, I'll probably like. Any tips on pulling switches out of tight plate without destroying the top housing? What do you have, an NK65EE? The only tip I got for you is take the plate out so you can get a better handle on it. If you take the plate out, it might be easier because you can go like all the way for like the top and bottom row. You can kind of like get in there, but you want to make sure the metal prong gets underneath the plastic, and you want to squeeze before you pull. Theoretically, you could hack it on top of VIA, but I would imagine the implementation would be very non-trivial. Just download AutoHotkey. The Water Kings have stems that are too large for the top housing. Films make the typing sound deeper. Do you think the EQ60 Aurora will have more flex than with the Poron gaskets? Poron's gonna have more flex than silicone, yes. What is considered an endgame switch? There's not really an endgame switch, it's just a switch you like. There's really no endgame switch. The endgame is when you figure out the switch that you like the most. So some people just love H1s, and H1s are not more expensive or better than any other switch. They just have a very particular sound profile. When is Andy Keep Design coming out? Dude, I'm scared to design run a keyboard. Thakias MX Brown variant? MX Brown variant, like a switch close to the MX Brown? I don't know. It's gonna depend more on the board. Deepest sound switch, Gateron Ink Black. You're just trolling, man. I'm trying to answer everybody's question. You messing with me out here? That's messed up. Bro, how many damn stems do I have left? I've been lubing this entire time. Where do people get razor greens? Do they sell it? Do they sell it separately? Thoughts on AIO3 Parallax? What are you talking about? Best hot swappable PCB? Milmax is going to be more reliable than Kale hot swap, but Milmax you got to solder it yourself. So I'm not sure. Most of the hot swap that you buy from a vendor or a designer or a runner is going to be Kale hot swap. They don't Milmax. Where can I check the status on the KVD67 Lite? It'll be on the order page on the website if you order through KVD Fans, right? I don't think they're gonna update you with anything. Any updates for the products might be in their server too. So join the KVD Fans Discord server. I don't think they do email updates that much. They do for like if you sign up for the email waitlist. You would need to desolder off the board. So people are desoldering a whole ass Razer keyboard just to have Razer greens for a meme. That. Oh my god, dude. Aren't those like $100? Thank you, Kevin. What are some ways to change the board switch pitch higher? If you don't use films, typically it's a higher clack. Don't use any kind of case foam or like silicone or PCB foam layer. That's really it. Lightly lubing, and so 25G0 makes switches deeper. So if you use 3203, it's gonna be like the least thick grease. It's gonna be clackier, or just straight up use 105 oil instead of grease. My favorite hot swap TKL that I've worked on, there's not a lot. Because most boards that have a hot swap washing, they have a regular solder option. I would give the nod to the K80, I think. But the Rama U80, a lot of people like. I heard Rama U80s and I believe they sound hollow, but some people swear that it's not. Does Millimax exist to LEDs? Yes. I actually saw that in an old school board. I don't think it's a common thing though. The LED for the caps lock indicator was hot swap. I was like, what the hell is this? I did not just join the jewels. Thoughts of the GMK Pro? I'm writing a review for it, but my overall take on it is that it was a disappointment because the board didn't really provide the features that it was advertising. But at the end of the day, there's no competition in that price point for an aluminum board under $200 with the knob and FRO. So it is what it is. SIP sockets? Oh. I've not tried up switches at all. But yeah, this is gonna be for tomorrow's ID80 on Twitch. So for deep sound, best to go top mount, in my opinion, yeah. Like the spacebar on a top mount board, it's deep. Or sandwich. Weirdest keycap profile, in my opinion. SA. Are there any boards that are hyped up that you generally think are shit? There's not a lot of boards that are bad, like shit. What made me start streaming on YouTube? Taking my online income through content creation seriously. It's very important to diversify. And I think the biggest thing was a lot of people on YouTube, they had never watched my streams. So when they saw my reaction video to the GMK Pro first stream, they didn't understand who I was. So I'm hoping that the more I stream on YouTube, the more people understand that their first impression of me was incorrect, or they can continue thinking that I am devil spawn. Who knows? Deep sounds can land in an aluminum plate or a brass plate. It's mostly gonna depend on case design. Best 65% keyboard custom build. When you say best, do you have price in mind? Because my favorite 65 would be the Chimera for sound and feel. It's just not that pretty. Kind of ugly. What do you think about the NK cream switches? Personal preference. There's no good or bad about that switch. Broken in, some people like love them. Is the NV 2021? I think that came from 2020 though. 205G2 is harder to apply than 205G0. What's up, Merlin? Yeah, I still gotta finish these switches, man. It's gonna take me a minute. After this, I have like 4 more. I just didn't have enough. I need 3 more. ID80 is 80 switches, right? Hence the name. Am I wrong? Which material for ink blacks? I like them on palm, but you can do aluminum or brass as well. I like palm, then palm, then PC, then aluminum. Wait, no, palm, then aluminum, then PC, then brass. That's my order. Yeah, I've seen the guy who artificially breaks in his creams. I'm gonna tell you though, I have broken in creams. I still don't like them. Do you have a dream keyboard, or have you already managed to get it? It's right here. This is the dream. My hands have some lube on them. What more than you need? What more do you need? My whole purpose for getting into the hobby was to get a board that took up less footprint. So 60, once I figured out how to use it, was the move. Unwatched stems and Gateron KS3s. If the Gateron KS3 is like a Gateron Milk Yellow, then I dig it, yes. The ID80 ANSI has 80 and the ISO has 81. Okay, it's not ISO though. ISO. I'll lube the last one just in case. What do you think about these? Cream stem plus a pocket bottom. That's just a cream pocket. It's easy. A lot of people like that. What's 1 + 1 2, senpai? I made some creams with palm stem, the alpaca, and the palm housing of Dura palm linears. Why would you do that? The whole purpose of a cream is to have a longer pull. Why would you put a shorter pull in there? I think most PSPs fit into the series. It's a standard 60. Is 200 bad for a gummy ring aluminum case? No, it's really cheap. Is it possible as a bag loose springs using a cup? Yeah, you can. Some people use those plastic containers like Filipinos keep. I heard the ID80 is kind of hollow and we're going to build it. So you can ask me after the build tomorrow about my thoughts on the ID80. Thanks, senpai, keeping me on my toes. Making sure I check I retain my math skills. Your tactile switch beat the pewter. I feel like a broken record. Yeah, the Tupperwares. Jeez, man, jeez. What happens if you don't use your loop switches for an extended period of time? You'll be fine, dude, don't worry about it. You may feel sluggish at the beginning, but once you use it for like a minute, it'll break in. To be honest, when I put the Dura palm linear in line, how's that pocket came out so smooth? Well, yeah. But how does it sound? It's smooth because alpaca stems are smooth. Jelly Epoch or GMK? GMK Pro? Nah. There's the only situation I would recommend a GMK Pro over anything else is if you only have $200 and you want aluminum and knob. Aluminum, knob, and F-rail. If you absolutely need all three, GMK Pro is undefeated as of today. But if you want to stretch to a little bit more, you can get the nah, there's no other thing with the knob. I don't know what I can't recall what the Phantom 65 is. Yeah, this VOD will be accessible. I'll make a playlist for it. So I got 30 minutes before I gotta leave for dinner. Might as well just run it. ID80 way better than the GMK Pro. As long as I can make it not hollow. The GMK Pro ended up not sounding hollow. So if the ID80 is hollow, that's kind of sucks. Do you think you ever design my own keycap set? Maybe accessories, but not keycap sets or boards. Accessories are a little bit easier to handle. Why are you getting blocked, Easy? What are you saying, bro? Favorite social gathering plaque. 2RV2 sounds good. Epidemic sounds, Jaden. Jaden, my high school stats teacher was last name Tontat. This is the lo-fi playlist on Epidemic Sounds. Sap still on perfect at the holy mod. What other mods you recommend? So it's still rattling, right? I swear, if you really want to do the Epsilon mod, but yo, the failure rate on that's so high. Is Lumen Play better on GMK Pro? Depends on the switch. The GMK Pro I think is still okay if you use tactiles, but I'm a linear fan, so I think I include that in my review actually. Like it sounds tolerable with something like a Moyu Black. So with the lube station like this, look at this. Just like that. Wait, I need to close it all the way. Hold on. I was gonna show you, then I didn't close all the way. Here you go. Mode reflex. Lube by the wing. Wait, just a little bit more so you can hear it. Yeah, we'll give it a try. I gotta like listen, hear it for myself. Yeah, there's a TX 2.15 mil. Favorite non-GMK keycaps? CRP, dude. My profession right now is a full-time content creator, but I'm still a licensed civil engineer in the state of California. Is a keyboard hobby the gateway to a successful life? The keyboard hobby is a gateway to debt. Would you say is the best replacement for the GMK Pro? You don't care one bit about the knob or F-Pro, then EK68 or the KBD67 Lite. Maybe the Portico. Not the NK65EE though. I lubed the bottom houses. I did it before stream. Anything aluminum. If you want aluminum, you gotta up your price bracket. So if you want aluminum and you're willing to up your price bracket, what layout do you want? If you want 65, I recommend the Savage 65. Still the most banger. What's the smoothest brother switch? In my opinion, the Comp-Tus have been pretty unparalleled in smoothness. I don't lube the top housings. So the only thing I did before stream was I lubed the bottom housings and I lubed the springs in this Ziploc bag that has 2 5G0 and 105 oil. So I'm going to show you how I lube my switch from scratch because I have 4 of these I need to do, right? These 4. So I'm going to run this real quick. And because I've already exhausted my bag of lube, just going to take this all apart. I normally drop it into 4 different cups. Thoughts on the acrylic Arisu boards? Acrylic boards are super thoughtful. They're really cool. So I'll split all these parts out. There are ones at Kinetic Labs. What are you talking about, Shane? If you lube top housing, you gotta go lighter on the stem. One time I lubed the top housing, but I didn't go lighter on the stem. Oh man, dragged. My PC specs should be on my Twitch page. I'm gonna rattle off for you right now. NR200 with 5900X with the Gigabyte Aorus or Gigabyte Aorus Pro AX B550 motherboard. CL16 RAM 26 of 16 gig. 3080 or Gigabyte 3080 Aorus master. I think that's it. Did I miss anything? The unicorn on my desk. A black ID80 Plus. I have my PE in Cali, yeah. Yeah. Hey, boy. Okay. So, with the lube station, dig this here lube. Get it clear, right? Get it clear. What I do is I run 1, 2, 3. Flip it over. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Now I flip it over, do the other side. Since I'm left-handed and I like going to the right. Yeah, I got the recommendation from the GOAT, Hippiotech. He told me ID80 Plus is the move. So I went with ID80 Plus. Alright, cool. Just did the bottom housing just like that. Favorite JWK recolor? H1s, I guess. Isn't the Titan one the one that looks like a concrete wheel stop? So So yeah, drop the film in here. So what I do is I do the entire loop station, right side, and I flip it over, left side. Zoom transition though? Yeah, thanks Reshi. Or Resh. Key. Yeah, there it is. I don't like silent switches. When it's silent, the sound of the spring ends up being too apparent. I never know if I need the bottom to loop the bottom or the top of the spring, so I just do both. Normally bag loop the springs, but I didn't open these switches up prior, so just go loop a little bit on the spring. Overwatch, Valorant, and a little bit of Warzone. Warzone tilts me a little bit too much, Jaden. So I don't know about all that. Aren't there hackers in Warzone too? But then there's Smurfs in the other game, so I'm best at Overwatch, so I'm the least tilted in that game. I've done Val streams on Twitch. Can I try a typing test without keycaps, just for the memes? Ugh, that's a plate on me, dude. We're better than that out here. I haven't tried to Escape from Tarkov. Is that big hype right now? I want to try the Outriders, Outsiders, whatever that game was. And so, right now we got the springs in here, right? Lubed. Do the bottom. We don't do top housing, so I just grab the stems and do what I've been doing earlier. So you've seen this, I'd rather play against a Smurf than a hacker. Of course, at least a Smurf is a human. Hackers and wallbanging. I tried Apex. There's a lot for me to learn. Apex or Warzone though. I know Optimum Tech plays Apex. Is it bad to be in the keyboard and not have anything to type every day? No? You can enjoy things. Just go on monkey type all day. I feel like that's why people like Type Racer. I was plaid on console, but then when I went to PC, I didn't give myself a chance to adjust to PC. I just ranked like fucking gold or copper or whatever, or bronze. It was bad. I don't play ranked anymore. Gotta save my tiltedness. Warzone is greater than Apex, that's what I think too. Direct L switches are Gator on Black Ink V2. Clack is a Direct L, L7, whatever, L whatever. And Thok is a Gator on Ink. You just pick, man. What do you want? I like ink though. That's just me. Preference, baby. Other server bugs? What's so bad about Gator Ink V2? Unfortunately, when they fixed the loose leaf issue, they made the switches inconsistently scratchy. That's the bad thing about it. Dropped a lot of words in there, Alexander. What the difference is? I would just have to look at it, bro. I can't tell from numbers and words. Warzone's definitely hella frustrating. I was doing so well and then I just got sniped from the top of a building. I was like, bruh, didn't even see them. That's what they feel. I'm using Unicorn right now. Personal favorite switch, got on Ink Black. ISO brass, ISO. So ANSI is a standard layout. If you don't use ISO, you can grab ANSI. Shit, I can't close this. The switches I'm using are Gateron Reflex. Or not Gateron, Mode Reflex. Thoughts on Fortnite? I played it for a minute. I actually bought a skin in that. I'm not gonna lie, I spent more money on Fortnite than I have in any of the other games. Because I learned quickly that I can spend money on a game and not play it. My boy was hella into it, that's why. PBD Notion's probably solid. It sounds similar to a 5G0. But there's still minute differences. If you really want more clock, go for 3204. I wasn't down for like the grinding. I was about to like straight up buy a mouse, like an MMO mouse to build faster, and like, nah, this is too much. These are not Inkswell guys. These are JWK. They're mode switches manufactured by Duroc. Read my build, KBD67 Lite R2, White, HK Gaming, Modern Deutsche Light Keycast, Alpacas, Duroc Palm Linear. Wait, you listed two different. Wait, no, Duroc Palm. It'll be probably fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Can't really rate it. Good polycarb 65. We're talking about injection molded polycarbonate or CNC polycarbonate. What's the best plate to clacky sounding board? Depends on the switch in the case. I take the ink palm here, put it in a Vega, it's gonna be deeper. Put in gummy O-ring, it's clackier. Good 87 board start is not too expensive. 8X Mark II. I've not tried Glorious Lube. I'm not gonna. The only reason you would buy Glorious Lube is if you're already buying stuff from Glorious. Either or. You gotta give me some constraints though. I'm not gonna list off every 65 in the world. So let me know what number I can recommend. Like of all time, it'd be the Chimera 65 for sound and feel, but it's ugly. Yo, MacBook Pro. Wait, what part? What part did I say again? I do speak fast though. Thank you, Crazy Yoshi. Solder or hot swap? If you need to test switches, hot swap. If you don't, solder. I don't like having a hot swap board because I constantly switch switches around. I get lazy on the build because I know I can just take it out. KVD 8X Mark II is the 8X recommendation, or the TKL recommendation. Yeah. What's so good about the Chimera 65? It sounds and feels good, bro. That's all it is. I just said it. Best sounding and feeling. That's what he said. Holy, it's $390. There's a B stock that's cheaper. You can also get a K80, so it should be around 300. But I think the current units they have online is 390. They should be around 300. But what about it that makes this sound feel so nice? Well, the gasket mount implementation, the plate has thicker pieces of plate material to be sandwiched in between the top and bottom. So in my opinion, that yields to a better sound and feel. That's really it. The Iron 165 does not have thicker pieces of plate. It's thinner. It's like a long piece, almost like a leaf spring. Long and then thin to the plate, and that just sounds and feels worse. I don't know anything about the SK87. Are GMK keycaps worth it? That's up to you to decide. They're gonna wear down, they're gonna get shiny, so if you don't have that kind of money to throw, you hate shiny, then don't buy GMK. How'd you compare the Chimera to the Vega? Vega's mostly there, but the Chimera edges it out. Thoughts on neoprene for case foam? People have done it. I'd rather just get shelf liner. They are gonna be slightly different, so unfortunately you can't just test it because once you cut it out for the case, you can't return it. Thick 6.5 V2 is probably solid. I haven't built one yet. My order is still pending because they had issues manufacturing the plates. Iron has an unbeautiful aesthetic, yeah, for sure. But looks ain't everything. Silent alpaca is solid if you want a silent switch. There's also boba gums from Gazoo. I don't like tangies, they're too high pitched clacking, I don't like. Best value aluminum 65, Savage 65. Always switch is a good filler instead of waiting for tangies. They're different, but yeah, they are. You want a hot swap TKO keyboard that isn't too expensive and is decent. I already have the switches. Get on, make a yellow LUBE 3203 and film. Try and grab a hot swap TKL that has PCB screw-in stabs from Monster Gear. I got 13 minutes to close all these switches. I think I can do it. I'm already wearing the outfit I need to go out. Yeah. I just have to close these. My fiance is like, you better be done. I've not tried SP Store tactiles. I don't like tactile, so I wasn't about to like invest the time and wait for that. Yeah, the K80 is the move if you want hot swap. These are L series? What's L series? Sorry, I just want to make my face bigger. Look small on camera. It's very expensive. What's your budget, man? You can't ask for recommendations, not say a budget, and then say our suggestions are expensive. There's not a lot of options for cheaper with hot swap, unfortunately. Because when you go cheaper, you're looking at a drop control and the regular GMK, and those both only take 3-pin switches, which means you got to clip your switches, and that sucks. Geo said the LUBE station is a heat check for sure. For bare cables, by the way. 50, 100, or 120. So at this point, that budget is only the Chinese boards that get sold on Amazon. And unfortunately, I think you're gonna end up with 3-pin KO hot swap for most of them. Trying to think if there's anything that's a little bit more reliable that's less like random, but I think you're just gonna have to search on Amazon. I think. Yeah, Keychron, that's an option. Okay, for linear switches, when you are putting them back together, is there a right way, wrong? Yes, there is a wrong way to put the stem. My favorite sounding board right now that I own is my unicorn. That's soldered. If you put the stem in the wrong way, you'll damage the leaf. So if it's not closing, so I'm gonna try to zoom in. I'm gonna try to show you. I'm gonna try to be helpful, right? So you see the legs are facing toward the leaf. 2 little legs are facing that way, and you look at the top housing. Sorry, it's gonna focus. Top housing. That hole is on the bottom. The label's on top. Just get in there and you just kind of put it on top. That's how you do it. So my camera's not in the center, so this messed me up. Here. Come on. Come on. Oh, I'm like within the focus. Come on. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. There we go. That's how it should look. Yes, I am, Gio. You remember? No, I'm not, actually. These are not my switches. I thought they were, but I'm using these stock C3.5 direct springs. A6600 for the overhead, A7S3 right here for the face cam. So this is 4K goodness, Merlin. Oh, actually, no. Merlin, I have reached full overkill. This is A7 III, f5.6, and this is the A7S III, f2.8. 16. This is at around 24 mil. The top is at 28 mil. A6000, very good first camera, but it's not going to be very good in video. Mode 80 is a solid sounding board. A lot of KD fans take the ship. They've been doing better, so it's like it's been taking like just a week. Best way to unlube and overlube switch, you have to clean it out manually, and it sucks. What switches are those in my thumbnail this stream? SP Star, Meteor White. Alpaca V2 or Everglide? I would go Alpaca. Everglide has issues with the stem. So I would think a Mauve or a Lavender would be a good linear switch. They're both good linear switches. I don't know. I haven't looked at the GK87 from Skyloom. Sorry. I got the Dream camera set up. Thank you. I care about my video and my audio. I haven't looked at the Epoch either, sorry. Did I unlube Kiwi before lubing them myself? You should, because there's a lube on the stem legs. So at least clean the stems. I've not tried the D65. I'd honestly I feel like I would rather just get a KD67 Lite. Why spend all that money? 30-second review on cream alpacas. So cream alpacas are a cream stem in an alpaca housing, and right now with the V2 alpaca housings or V2 JWK, sometimes there's issues and you may have to use kale black stems instead, which are the same, they're just cheaper. But on top of that, for some reason, when you type on it, bro, it's a longer stem, so the travel is all shortened, but it makes it feels weird. It makes it feel like the keyboard is taller, so I don't like it. But the sound is kind of deep, in my opinion, after I put it into a board. I thought it'd be clackier, but it's not. It's a different kind of clack and it's a little deeper. That's my review. Yeah, D65 looks good, but isn't that the one with the removable right arrow blocker? I do not lube the leaf in a Switch ever, unless I have to. So with some kind of leaf pingy, I got 7 minutes to finish all the leaf pingy tactiles. Adding some grease behind the leaf can make it sound better. Ideally inks. And also my black cherry pies, which is my over-the-top variant of the cream paca. The cherry tops probably make it deeper, but my creams are broken in after a year of use. Best budget Switch would be, I've been hearing good things about the J Wick. Gateron milky top black, Gateron yellow milky top black bottom, and a little bit more expensive would be the SP Stars, but there's a lot of options under 55 cents. Palm Pacas? I would not. Yellows are just goated. I think Macmillan would agree. I always spring swap every single Switch. Yeah, I heard some buzz about the Akko Switches. I don't know if I have the I do have the Unicorn up, but that was with the Hyperglides. I don't have a Unicorn sound test up with the inks. 55 cents is not truly cheap though. It's cheap. No, it's not truly cheap. Gateron yellow's goated, Macmillan. Shoes is good. I personally don't think we need to get that much detail on the Switches. We just need to know if it works and how it sounds. So I'm gonna let Shoes do the sound test, the Switch reviews. I'm more practical. I'm like, all right, so how's it different in a board? Telio V2 is too expensive. I don't fuck with Telios. Duroc Prom or creams? I would rather do Duroc Proms because they're smoother. Like out of the gate. I've been told, I haven't actually lubed and used it, that Duroc Proms are like broken end creams. But I think they have the same kind of clack. The TKL, Glorious TKL's in stock, my buy one? Yeah, if that's the only option, either the Glorious TKL or the drop control. But you're gonna have to get a flush cutter and cut the PCB mount legs off your Switches, which is sad. So what I mean by that is right here. On the bottom of the Switch. Shit, hold on. So there's a pin, a center column, but you see these two plastic nubs on the either side. Right here, I'm touching it. You gotta clip those off. You gotta do that for all your Switches. Mauves or creams? Mauves. I don't like the sound profile of creams. Thoughts on carbon fiber plates compared to brass? I like carbon fiber more. I have a carbon fiber plate for this. I feel like to really stay true to the clackiness of the Unicorn, if I do SP Stars on a forged carbon plate in the Unicorn, that's a flex and a half. Be pretty gangsta. Thanks, Mr. Tom. We out here. What does creamy sound like? Sounds like a Vega. Vega mode. I don't. Lavenders are deep, but for some reason I built it in my iron and it made the board sound more hollow than H1's. I don't know what happened there, bro. I got 3 minutes to do 2 rows. Gotta end the stream abruptly, but hopefully I'm answering all your questions as we go. Had fun today. work while hanging out with the community. What more can you ask for? There's no best sound dampening, it's just what kind of sound you like. The silicone wasn't that hard to do, in my opinion. So I'm gonna cut that video up and make a guide. Artelia V2, good switches. I would rather go Alpaca or even Tangy. Because Artelia V2 is like $1 each, man. The original aspiration switch is pretty nice. I found that the sound sounded kind of flat in the Vega though. On my Gateron optical reds, the stem is symmetrical, so I'm still... If the stem is symmetrical, then you're fine, right? Yeah, optical switches are weird. C3 or Duroc V2 stabs or Y. So I don't like a C3 because there's a possibility that the stem can go through the top housing, which does not happen with Durocs. But my friends swear by them. I think vintage blacks are a waste of money. Right now, especially that SP Star Meteor Whites exist, bro. If you want that clacky sound, I would roll with that. Are Duroc Zeal knockoffs? No, they're different, but they're all the same. They're not a copy, but they're the same product in the end. You can tell there's a little difference in the molds. It's not a knockoff. These are Gateron. No, these are mode reflexes. Right, I'm almost done. I'm almost done, fam. Spirit Complex springs versus Progressive. I've never used Complex. Progressives are pretty nice. They feel comfy. Bro, I can't believe I busted through all the switches. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you like this. I'll be streaming like once or twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday. It's nice to just sit and talk. What's a good 75% keyboard? I like the obliterated, but that budget's kind of high for some people. I've never stripped a screw on a board I've been building, but it's really bad news. You can get a screw stripper, and if you only stripped one, you can actually kind of just rotate the top carefully and unscrew it that way by rotating the entire top housing or top case. But to prevent that, I use good drivers like Weira or Weha. GMK stab's decent. They're fine, but they all tick. Cherry stabs and GK stabs scratch. There's a little bit more friction in there that I hear. The SP Star sound is very close to the clack and pop of a Hyperglide or a Cherry MX Black. BTZ Lube is pretty good. It's expensive though. I don't think I'd recommend it unless you're building a lot. What's tick the same as rattle? Now tick is when you tap the edge and you hear a high pitched sound. Rattle is literally sounding like a rattle of a wire. I can't really, I don't have something ticking right now. The Holy Mount is pretty good, but it doesn't resolve the rattle issue, the full rattle issue. Alright, I think we're almost done here. Hopefully I was able to answer all your questions. And hopefully you understand I'm not an elitist out here just telling you, you're wrong. I'm just trying to help in the way that I communicate best, which is mostly through extensive analysis of things. So yeah, I just finished these switches. All of these. I haven't tried the Morgie stabilizers. Oh, there are more switches in here. Okay, no wonder. I was confused. So I should have enough lube ones. I'm gonna put this back in here. Epidemic sound, Marky Man. Favorite method for tuning stabs? Holy with DBZ. Favorite GMK stab would be muted. Numa got delayed. Numa looks solid, but it's expensive. $500 for a 60s grip. I'm waiting to see if they're gonna select me to be a reviewer of it. We'll see. If you want to name drop my name in the server, it might help. I feel like he already selected his content creators. It's all good. I have more fun just chilling with the chat anyway. Alright. I think that's gonna be it. cleared a set of switches today together. There's lube at the bottom of this cup, so I gotta throw it out. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy the stream. I'm doing this once or twice a week when I can. And congratulations to Harris Heller for leaving the Twitch Overlords and become full-time on YouTube. Pretty lit. My favorite keyboard content creator is myself. Just kidding. They're all great, dude. Don't throw it out. Use it on your people. That sounds like it's gonna burn the tip. All right, that's it. I'm gonna end the stream. There's an end stream button here. I'll see you tomorrow where I'll be building the ID80. I'm gonna cut out some case foam. I don't think we're gonna silicone mod it. Hopefully the shelf liner is enough. We're gonna try our best to make that sound good. I'm gonna do the stabs and do the holy mod on it. Do the whole shebang. Yeah. See you tomorrow. 5:30 p.m. on Twitch. That's PT. All right, bye. Peace.